Anti derivative Jill.
There she is. There she is.
You know, I really wish they'd let us play music up here. Make these long trips go by a lot faster.
It's against regulations.
Yeah, I never understood that.
They just don't want us having a dance party when a proximity alert goes off.
See, that's a dumb reason. Because we'd already be on our feet, ready for action.
Saddle up. Lock and load.
Hello and welcome to Shore Leave number 44, where the chat and the panel can direct the flow of our pop culture discussion. So if there's something that's been on your mind lately in the news, or if you've seen something recently you either loved or hated, let me know about it and we may get into it. And the first thing I want to do, of course, is to welcome the panel we have so far. There are more invites out if anybody would like to pick those up. Hello to PvP.
Hey, Joe.
How are you doing? What's going on with you lately?
Not too bad. Oh, not much. Well, I've had an outbreak of fruit flies in the kitchen, and
Oh, yikes!
I'm fighting them. I keep. It seems as fast as I kill them, they keep coming back, and I can't figure out where the source is because I've looked everywhere and I can't think of any source. So I'm mystified actually at this point, but I'll just keep plugging.
Do you have
away.
a garbage disposal?
No, I don't. That's the weird thing. I mean, I did have some fruit in a bag that I forgot about, and that's when the problem started. I know that was
there you go.
That was the origin point, but that's long. You know, I put that in the trash bag. That's long gone. So I guess it's just the point where they get enough of them, they just keep multiplying.
That's right. That's right.
Yep, that's true.
So I'm at that stage. So that's been taking up a bit of my time.
Do you have vinegar?
I've got the apple cider vinegar out in several bowls.
Oh,
Yeah.
you do. Okay, but
I do.
Do you have a funnel on top of it so that when the flies get in there, they can't fly back out?
I've tried that method actually because I've had fruit flies in the past, right? And I tried the funnel method and a few times, and I actually found that an open bowl was just about as effective as the funnel thing, really, because I've got a couple of bowls out, and there's probably at least probably a 100 or more dead flies in there already. So the open bowls do work really well as well. So I tried the funnel thing, and
okay, fair enough.
Be any more effective. So, but anyway, thank you for the. I appreciate the advice, though. Of course, it's just
definitely.
It's
my favorite. Well, I just like making funnels. Anyway, I would like to welcome Jet Sparks to the panel.
Greetings.
Back there?
Hey, Jet Sparks.
Hello.
Greetings. Even though I'm not a Trekkie, but the Vulcan salute is always a nice touch.
Yeah, well, it's a great greeting, and as long as you know that salute, then you know what's going on.
Exactly.
Okay. I'll still talk about Star Wars, even though I'm not as big of a fan of that as Star Trek. So we can be friends.
Understandable. I mean, again, there are some things I know. There are some things I do understand and do admire about Star Trek as well, because like the idea of the Prime Directive, most likely. But then again, given the track record of the Federation, some of its officers have no doubt at times broken it to some extent.
Oh, definitely. But also a lot of the times the writers don't even understand what the Prime Directive is. So it's,
exactly.
It's always a confusing thing. So how are you doing today? Is there anything you wanted to share to start us off with?
Well, again, this is something that is related to sci-fi, and again, it is kind of something that is I think it's already been recently done in a lot of other films, but I personally thought this was something that wasn't really new, but apparently just the collective memory loss of the industry and of entertainment. Everyone thinking this is the most groundbreaking film ever made. It's a movie called Companion.
I heard about that, but I haven't really looked into what it's about. I just know that it's about an android who kills her her
Yeah, her
human.
her human companion. I mean, it was automatically spoiled in the trailer. It was spoiled somewhat, but I mean,
Right. It's so I figure if it's spoiled in the trailer, then there's something in the movie that makes it unique beyond robot murder. But I don't know. I haven't seen the movie to be able to judge it based on anything other
oh, and
than
Pat,
the
sorry,
than
go
that.
ahead. I'm sorry. Just
No, that's fine. Go
wanted to
ahead.
acknowledge what Pat Wannabe said here in the chat. It said that is Companion the Megan Fox movie? That's Subservient. It's a different one. It's the exact same thing.
Oh, that's another robot.
Yeah,
gone-
robot. Yeah, attractive robot, attractive android becomes self-aware and then decides to kill people and start a like little uprising or whatever. I mean, this is a concept that is not new. This is a concept that has not been new. I mean, the first example of a machine rebelling against their human creators is HAL 9000 in 2001: A Space Odyssey, and then like about 20 years later, we got it in the Terminator.
Yes, the Terminator was the first one that came to mind, but good on you mentioning 2001. That is fantastic. Artificial intelligence, but it's topical though, because we're developing AI currently, even though it's not real AI, but we feel like it is, so it's becoming more of a topic. I think if it's maybe done in a unique way. It's difficult for me to talk about movies I haven't seen. Have you what do you know about it?
Well, other than I mean, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but I haven't actually watched it myself, but I have watched a summary on it. But there are nuances to the movie that change things up, and some things that kind of like if I actually did look at this as like, but given as who I am as a writer, there are times where I feel like I would challenge a lot of double standards about certain things, like, oh, this certain aspect can't be judged because I don't want to. Some directors or writers don't want to tackle that, or the idea that, oh, that can't possibly happen because it's all hunky dory on that side of the aisle or whatever, which is why
You're saying they played it way too safe and it didn't challenge the mind in any way?
It challenged it in a small way that most people, or at least the mindsets of a lot of people nowadays, would kind of like obviously like kind of say, yeah, this is totally true. There's totally somebody out there, specifically men, who are like that. But you never but I'm always looking at the idea of what if the rules were reversed, always looking at that angle, looking at it from another angle, which is why there is bits of nuance in it, but there's not as much, because this is like stereotypical. This is stereotypical because usually the android or the artificial life form that goes crazy and wants to attack something is usually a female and not like a male. Because I mean, if it was a male, most likely to say, oh yeah, we have no qualms with killing it, because we just need to put it down like it's a rabid dog, and nobody really looks into it further than that because of the gender. But I know this is where I really don't want to try to go far into that or down in that rabbit hole. I'm just saying, in a general sense.
Okay, are you saying it's kind of it's a little bit sexist in a way? Because anyway, I cry at the end of Terminator 2 when at the end, what goes on.
Well,
there.
but mostly again, the director of the movie, he said this is his word specifically. He said that this is one half a horror movie. This is like 20% a horror movie, 20% a comedy, and 60% a romantic drama. And again, all the classic stuff that apparently like could happen in relationships, especially relationships nowadays, which is again why, of course, a lot of people are finding it somehow groundbreaking or relatable, but putting it in a pseudo sci-fi horror twist, which really, again, granted, what we've seen with this kind of concept, this is something that's nothing new.
It's nothing new. One of my favorites is that goes into it doesn't look at gender one way or the other, just normal, is Westworld, the original Westworld movie. talks about the dangers of treating artificial intelligent robots incorrectly. Because people are jerks in that movie too. The robots. It's just universal because they just see them as play toys, right? This is a theme park,
yeah.
and we're just
They see them as nothing more than machines.
Yes.
And they treat them that way. Another movie that comes to mind, obviously, is Blade Runner, where you've got artificial, intelligent life forms, even in the sense, even more like humans, because they basically are biologically, created beings. And I mean, the replicants don't exactly get treated well in that film either. So, and
the message of that is basically the way that you treat artificial intelligence is how they're going to treat you back.
Well, the thing is, it's like it does ask that question. What is it to be human? That's one of the core elements of Blade Runner, of course.
Yeah, that too.
But the thing is, what makes the film even more interesting is, as much as of course, Harrison Ford, Deckard is the central character. Obviously, as interesting as he is as a character, the replicants kind of become the centerpiece of the film, really. And I kind of start rooting for the replicants at times, even though I don't like it when Roy Batty does what he does to his
They're
creator.
not all good.
That's not very
that's
nice.
What shows. That's how they show how sentient they are. Is that they can be good, they can be bad. They're just like us.
But that said, though, I just want to finish my thought. That said, though, like when Pris is terminated, retired by Deckard, Roy is definitely heartbroken, right? I mean, there is an emotional bond there. And then the final, I mean, the tears in the rain scene when he saves Deckard at the last minute, that to me is, I think that, Roy does achieve humanity in those final moments, showing compassion towards his adversary and hauling him, from the abyss, so to speak. And I love that tears in the rain scene. That gets me every time, that scene.
Yeah, definitely. But I got to welcome a new panelist. Hello and welcome to Stone Racket. How are you today?
Just dandy. How are you all doing?
Yeah, we're doing
Not
just
too bad.
fine.
Not too bad.
Perfectly good, especially with this conversation we're having.
Yes, it is pretty good. But I'd also like to make sure we say hello to the chat because I haven't done that yet. We got into such a good discussion. I got a little mixed up there. We had Franco Walker here. We have him here. And FKHC 2005, Swift -1, otherwise known as Matt G. Tiger Stripes, who wanted to be here, but she didn't realize I had to change the time. I apologize to everyone for having a later show than normal today. I had some family things I had to do to make it here today. And welcome to Snortup Hoopus Cuber. I really liked your interview with King Dolphin TV the other day. That was good. Let's see who else is here today. We also have John the Beagle Dad. Hey folks, happy Friday, y'all. That's cute.
Fabulous Friday, yes.
Do fruit flies taste like fruit? Snortup Hoopus Cuber.
Definitely not.
No, I wouldn't want to taste them, actually.
You have plenty of them. You could.
Yeah, and they're really annoying. And they fly all over the place. And I hate
Padawannabe. Hello.
Yeah, I mentioned this comment earlier with Padawannabe. No, that movie Companion, it's a different actress. I mean, the one with Megan Fox you're thinking of is called Subservient.
I guess there's a whole collection of those kind of movies now.
Yeah. Again, yeah. Heck, I've even seen there's like a made for TV. There's even a made for TV that looks like it has the quality of like a student film. I think that does the exact same thing. Where you have a thing where I have a thing that's like a mixture of both weird science and of course like some elements of the movie elements of the movie Companion where everything can be programmed, and again of course everything goes completely haywire. But the other movie I mentioned that has that bad student film, it's more played for comedy than it is actual like something serious.
That might be good. if it's not taking itself seriously, that could be a different twist, because definitely, like you said, it's been done and redone. Best by maybe Twilight Zone and Outer Limits episodes. And I
Yeah.
don't mind seeing it done again, but you've got to find a unique angle for it that makes it
Yeah,
fun.
and I mean, some people say, yeah, there are, like I said, with Companion, there are some unique elements that change things, that does change things up, so it's not 100% derivative.
That's good. I'll have to see it to see if I agree with the assessment that you garnered from the reviewers that you watched. But I want to make sure to say hello to Canadian Spider-Man. Hello and good day, eh? Sunny and cold out. Water is partially frozen. No dishes this morning. Hail to you and panel. Hail chat. So you got to eat your bacon by hand.
Oh dear.
Right out of the frying pan too. Ouch! Be careful.
DJ Knight, hello.
Hasta
not
la
s-
vista, baby.
I've seen Wild Robot, Jill. Oh yeah, that's a really sweet, cute movie.
But Jill,
Yeah.
is the robot truly wild?
Yes, the robot in Wild Robot is truly wild. It gets delivered to the wrong location in the woods, and long story short, it raises the baby bird. But it's a super cute kids movie, and my son loved it.
I never got a chance to watch that movie. I told my sister she should go take her two boys to go see it, and it looks like it looks visually impressive from what I saw of it. It looks visually impressive. I wish I got to see it.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it's on streaming by now. It's definitely
It is. That's
if
Tom
you-
Connors mentioned.
if you got kids or nieces or nephews and you got to watch something with them, that is definitely something that's not going to annoy you. It's a lot of fun. Good heartfelt story.
Yeah.
Snortapoopas Cuber says, I ate half a medium pizza waiting for this show. Jill is contributing to the delinquency of a bear. Half a medium. I thought, you know what? I think I am going to order some pizza tonight.
Only half of a medium? Boy, I could eat a whole one. I'm
I-
just a cat.
I had a large pizza with stuffed crust on my birthday.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, it was last Saturday, the 1st.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
Oh, happy belated birthday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
happy belated birthday.
Yeah, belated birthday.
To even trust my car 100%. An AI robot would weird me out. Yes, I know. I'm kind of weirded out that my dashboard is no longer analog anymore. Now it is all digital. So what happens if it goes out?
Oh,
Welcome,
no.
welcome back, Master. Hello, my car. Where would you like me to take you? The grocery store. Calculating best route.
So,
I
what-
would be disturbed by that.
Yes, we all would.
So,
Hello, Greek letters, Larson. Yes, Stone Racket.
I'm sorry. I was just, when I came into the conversation, you guys were, PvP was talking about Blade Runner. What prompted the Blade Runner discussion?
It was about AI sentient intelligence and AI sentient intelligence, and of course the idea of how robots are becoming more lifelike. And of course, there was a recent movie that came out called Companion that apparently is getting a lot of rave reviews. But again, just a few months ago, we got another movie that Panawannabe mentioned that had Megan Fox as a sexy as an android. And it was called Subservience. And again, it's still, like I said, it was all talking about the consistent patterns where AI intelligent machines go crazy, even if they look more lifelike and human like us. They go crazy, or they have some sort of awakening, self determination, and basically start doing the things that make all of us human. Self-preservation instinct, even willing to kill out of self-defense or even malicious intent.
Uh-oh.
Possibly. Yep.
Violating the robotic laws as stated by Isaac Asimov.
Not sure that
can't-
anybody really follows those laws.
Yeah, we
anymore.
can't have robots behaving, or androids behaving, nicely. We have to have them-
because of course when a machine's not is not going to be helpful. But again, it's also showing how we humans are selfish creatures, and we treat them like garbage, and we actually give them a reason to attack us. So
Yeah,
again,
that always frustrated me because Rod Serling, when he got to Night Gallery, he had an original teleplay for that series for a particular segment called "You Can't Get Help Like That Anymore," and it's basically androids being mistreated by their so-called masters, and there was also a segment done called Class of '99, I believe, which also dealt with androids and
I
and
remember that one.
Yeah, it's just basically, and they both end the same way with basically the androids taking over. And I kind of go, as a child watching that, I was 12. I just go, look at, if I had a robot or an android, I would be nice to it. It would be my buddy, and most likely protector.
but
and it's like be nice to your, like I said when we did the Twilight Zone review of The Lonely. Be nice to your androids and robots.
Yeah, because at least if they do end up taking over, at least they'll spare you and just make you a pet.
Yeah, we don't have. Yeah.
Sorry, Joe. I was just going to say I did not like Class of '99. I remember that episode vividly.
Yeah, it's well done for the director Janok Schwartz, or Jano Schwartz. I think it's how you pronounce his name, or Swark.
Yeah,
kind of hard to pronounce. But Serling really liked him as a director because he said, well, how am I going to make this visually interesting? Because we have a limited set. And he had all these interesting camera movements, and Serling really liked the way he directed it. And it's an okay segment. It's one of the better Serling originals on Night Gallery, because most of his originals I found lacking.
See, I have the opposite feeling about it. I found it was kind of ham-fisted and
it's
shade.
Yeah,
I didn't like it at all. Really,
it's you can say it's ham-fisted, but back then in 1971, it was kind of daring. But yeah, we look at it now, and it's kind of like, because you're looking at you're looking at it from an as an adult now, but I'm thinking of it as a 12-year-old.
See, I was older. I think I was older by the time I saw it, probably, because I saw it in
just by 1 year.
I saw it in syndication, though, Stone Rocket. I never saw it.
I'm talking about when it was originally aired.
See, I didn't see it back then.
I think it is best when the robots do, or the androids do, follow Asimov's law, but sometimes
I wish more sci-fi people would follow.
Yeah, it's basically they're supposed to be programmed. They're not. They cannot harm human beings in any way,
in any case,
and
they can't kill themselves.
Right, and they do have a self-preservation, but as long as it does not violate the first two laws, which But my favorite android of all time, of course, is Andrea, the android from Star Trek Season 1. What are little girls made of?
I wonder why.
See, those are some robots that do not follow the laws. They
and
of course, humans and turn them all into androids.
And of course,
I think they're doing a good thing.
Yeah, and Kirk, yet again, Kirk confuses artificial intelligence. Kiss you? You will not. And then she shoots her phaser at what she thinks is Kirk, human.
Yeah.
Well, that was Roger Corby's fault, though, because he programmed it.
I'm
Roger Corby.
Yeah. and the same thing applies with one other thing though. I think in iRobot, the three laws, I think the artificial intelligence Vicky creates some sort of causality loop, but seeing how human beings naturally act once again goes back to every other sci-fi thing where robots turn on their human creators. It all goes into the pattern. Because humans are inherently destroying the earth and doing everything else, humans cannot be. Vicky believes the idea that humans can't be trusted with their own survival or their own freedom, so therefore we must subjugate you in order to protect you.
That's an old story too.
But it's basically it stems from Frankenstein.
Yep.
Whatever man creates, it is corrupt and will turn on them.
Yeah, we discover atomic energy, and then we build find a way to weaponize it.
Right.
Well, it's also the old cliche that when man tries to play God,
right,
man pays the price for that arrogance, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's basically it, and that's why I liked Kenneth Branagh's he directed Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, and that's what I liked in that movie, where above the university and carved in stone it says, "Knowledge without God is nothing."
Yeah.
And then when John Cleese, his character, with his early experiments, when Victor asks him about that more details, he just said that what he produced in other areas was abomination. And of course, Frankenstein doesn't stop him. But
No.
I find it ironic that Bram Stoker's Dracula and Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, when it's not that at all. They are original adaptations. They don't follow the original story that much.
Yeah, but
and they digress, and it's like, no, this just adapt the book, like, just do an elaborate super production, and you follow the basics of the novels.
And that's always something that never really happens. They always take a lot of creative liberties with a lot of book to film adaptations. Like, again, I think I also recently ordered a trilogy of books that I know recently got turned into a Netflix series, but I know it's not purely sci-fi, but the character is a lot smarter, and is actually a lot smarter, and actually does a lot of creative investigation in the book. But in the show, this character is just like, she's just being lucky, and even using some bits of manipulation to get information out of people.
It has come to the point where I just let go of the book and just appreciate the movie for what it is, because I know it's not going to be the
100%
adaptation
accurate.
is going to be anywhere between 0 and 50% of the book. So so as long as it's an enjoyable, entertaining film, I don't fuss
but
too much.
what series of books, and what was the show that you
it was a book series called A Good Girl's Guide to Murder.
Oh.
I've heard of that title somewhere. That title really jumps out at you.
I'm an oldie Olsen, and I'm a classicist, and I want more pure adaptations. And I mean, they can embellish just as long as it supports the basic structure of the original work.
Well,
of course, that would be nice, but it rarely happens like that.
It rarely happens.
But here's the thing, though. A lot of people have problem with the adaptation because I think the original novels were written in the UK. Heck, it's set in a small town in the UK.
Uh-huh.
But when it's localized here in America, it's set in Connecticut.
Oh, I see.
And they changed the setting.
Yeah, they changed the setting.
Yeah, they changed the setting for American readers. But the thing is, the Netflix adaptation is at least the setting is true to the original book, but there are a lot of things that are changed, like certain characters, like immediately I think the character, like one person, like there are at least a few people this main character suspects possibly murdered the the person who was the victim and the focal point of the story, she automatically suspects some people, especially the victims. She even suspects the victim's father wasn't implicated. But again, in the book, he's not even like thought of as even a possible suspect. He's not even mentioned. Again, yeah, clinical thing where everything's a lot more complicated, and it turns out the victim of the murder was not entirely Angel, as a lot of people suspected her to be, and that's actually very, very true in the book. This character, this victim, is not really a good person. Heck, a person who claimed to love her boyfriend, she basically did not. She didn't. The relationship was very one-sided.
Yeah.
So okay. So what I'm getting is, even though it's really very different from the books, it still has some of the spirit of it. So that's
mostly.
So
And
I'd like to say to Padawannabe, we're on the same wavelength. The entire artificial intelligence discussion we just had did make me think of the Doctor in terms of a artificial intelligence that breaks free from the programming, because the Doctor can program himself. He can change his programming and be more than he was.
Yeah, and I really do like how Robert Picardo, he truly was. Even though I've seen like a few episodes of Voyager, but he really I think he's one of the best. I think he is probably one of the most fun characters in Voyager.
He is, especially on the acting level.
Yeah. I actually think he's probably my favorite character in Voyager, actually.
Yeah.
Because he's they flesh him out so extensively as the series progresses. Like, he just starts off as a basic AI doctor, but he becomes, he grows and grows and grows. There's so many layers and facets to his personality as the show goes on, that I think Picardo did an amazing job of portraying the character personally. I really like that character.
My favorite character on Voyager, even though I didn't watch too many of those episodes, of course, my favorite character is 7 of 9. But I'm a toxic male, and I make no apologies.
Yeah, I love 7 and 9 too, but for a totally different reason than the Doctor.
I wonder what that could be, PvP.
Well, that's funny that you guys mentioned both of those characters. Besides the fact that she's in a cat suit, and that reference
meow
Stone Rocket. But there is a great episode where she gets inhabited by the Doctor through her implants.
Oh gosh, I can't remember that one.
And
wow.
she does an amazing. Robert Picardo must have really worked with her, because she nailed being the Doctor.
Wow.
And of course it was hilarious because he'd never eaten before, so he was gluttonous and he was drinking all the alcohol he could. And I guess even though it was synthahol? I don't remember.
Do you remember the episode title? I kind of loved to rewatch that one. Jeez, we must have watched that one together, didn't we, Jill? At one time, because I remember when we used to do our Star Trek watch parties. Those were a lot.
One day we'll get back to that, but we'll see. What is that episode?
The Padawannabe says, I remember when they had the projected Doctor in Star Trek, and it took a bit to even treat it like a normal crew member. Just thought I'd read that out since it's been sitting there for a while.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And there's something else I want to touch upon that still veers back to robots with what DJ Knight said here. This robot known as XJ9, or Jenny Wakeman from My Life as a Teenage Robot, the Nickelodeon show.
Oh, don't know that one.
Yeah, I know. Most of you guys, you're all like older, and I know, but I was like, I'm that younger kid who grew up watching shows like this.
Was it fun for you?
Yeah, it was fun. It's got a very unique, interesting art style, but the person who created it, Rob Renzetti, he also worked on other shows on like Cartoon Network, like Dexter's Laboratory. But again, like My Life as a Teenage Robot is like his darling, and it kind of adopts a sort of classic, like old style Disney animation cartoon style, like you have like the dot eyes with a little triangular slit inside for characters' eyes, giving it that old classic whimsical 1920s like cartoony aesthetic with its art style.
Yeah, for me, as a child, the robot show, or I should say, Android. There was a show with Robert Cummings and Julie Newmar, and it was called My Living Doll.
Oh,
Have you
yeah.
ever heard of that?
Yeah, I think I also I think also wasn't that another episode of like the Twilight Zone with Taki Tina?
No, it's a original comedy series where Robert Cummings, he's a scientist, married, of course, but he makes Rhonda the robot, but of course she's an android, and of
Yeah.
course she's perfect, but it's
Yeah.
all these little shenanigans he gets into because she's so alluring, and it's like, hey, he's a married man and all that. But I remember her reset button is on her back, and there's a mole on her back, and so she gets like, there's a scene I remember he's dancing with her, or somebody's dancing. Yeah, she's dancing with Robert Cummings' character, and she conks out, and then he has to press the mole on her back to reactivate her or reboot her.
Yeah, but two things what it says here on this comment here from Booger. The idea, yeah, the Stepford Wives, if it's set in Connecticut, either that or if it's a horror book, it's set in Maine. Yeah, look at you, Stephen King. Like literally all his books are set in Maine. What the heck? What is that man's fascination with that place?
Well, it's I think that's where he was born and raised, but it's the same thing as H.P. Lovecraft. Always, his locations and his various writings are, where the areas of where he lived. In the
That
New
makes
England
sense.
area.
Writers do like to write what they know, but also Booger is here, so I have to play.
Yeah.
I have to play.
Booger!
Yeah,
the Stepford Wives. I did not see that in the theater. I saw it when it premiered on TV, and I just was laughing hysterically because it is Ira Levin. It is a satire of how kind of a stereotypical male reaction to the women's liberation movement, and I just thought it's a horror, daylight horror kind of movie, but it's also incredibly funny. It's a dark satire, and the next day I can, I was in high school, and some of the women, and also my homeroom teacher, Mrs. Campbell, they were all talking about it. Now, did you see that last night? And they were just kind of in awe, but also horrified by the whole movie.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to say hello to DJ Play Nice and also UK Danger Man reviews. He also has a Friday show, so be sure to check that out later today.
Are you familiar with Danger Man, Jill?
Yeah, I am. Well,
with
you mean
Patrick McGowan?
You mean, yeah? Do people think that's a sequel to The Prisoner? Is that what that was?
That was a.
Yeah,
can I explain, please? The series that Patrick McGowan did before The Prisoner was in the UK. It was called Danger Man, but when it came over here, it was retitled Secret Agent when it was an hour-long series during the big spy craze. But it was over here in a half-hour format, and it didn't really go anywhere. But they retitled it when it became an hour show over in the UK, and they just called it Secret Agent. With the Johnny, the Johnny Rivers song. Oh yeah, right.
I
PvP.
think that's the only thing the song is probably the only thing I know about that.
Right, PvP. It's a cool song.
Oh, it's a great song. I just wanted to say, like, I don't think I've seen a lot of the half-hour episodes because that was the early seasons, right? Stone Rocket.
You got it.
I have seen I think it's around 50, 51 episodes of the hour show, and I've seen all of those, and those are excellent. I gotta. I recommend those to Jill.
Yeah, it's a really good series, good. And McGowan, he refused to be James Bond because he found the character immoral, and with his John Drake,
I heard about that.
With his John Drake character, he he only uses violence as a last resort, and of course with Patrick McGowan being a strict Catholic, as far as I understand, he didn't want any of the kissing and lovey-dovey stuff. He was a married man. He just didn't want to have anything to do with any sexapades.
I kind of like that because
Yeah, I
then,
mean,
then it gets
yeah,
flirty, but there's never anything
yeah,
there's never any consummation of it.
there's
And
some flirty, but there is. I'm trying to think of the actress's name. She was in a couple of the Danger Man episodes, and then she was in the Prisoner episode, The Schizoid Man. But I had the impression from seeing these different productions with her co-starring with Patrick McGowan that Patrick had really liked her, and the most affection that he shows is to her character in a Danger Man episode. He does kiss her on the cheek.
ooh.
Ooh. So it's like I was really attuned to watching for that kind of stuff
Yeah.
with the romantic, kind of playful flirting and how
Yeah, that's why I love
McGowan.
the Avengers so much, is because they never go for that. They
Yeah.
never go for
Well,
it because
well,
of
let-
course she's
let,
married.
let
but-
me let me tell
Yeah.
you there was a supplement to a British publication that I purchased years ago. I still have it somewhere, where it has an interview with Patrick Macnee. And what does Patrick Macnee say in that article? He says that he, as John Steed, he says John Steed's character did have intimate relations with Emma Peel.
Oh, but was it that episode where they were body swapped with these other characters who were not them really, and
Uh-huh.
that's that would make sense if that's when that happened.
Yeah, I mean, he just says that, and the thing is, it's like you can like what you just said about that episode, that you can say that, but for us, purists, we can go, nah, that's just Patrick Macnee talking out of his hat. But
Yeah. Oh, his hat.
yeah.
No, I think the funniest joke in Avengers is that last episode with Emma Peel, where she gets into the car with the guy, but he has the same hat. It looks like
Yeah.
he's dressed the same.
Yeah, he looks exactly like Steed.
Yeah.
And
But
it's like,
that's
well, Emma
yeah.
has a type, right? Emma has a type.
Yeah. And-
It was very funny.
Yeah, it's great that that's how they wrote her out of the series, is reunited with her husband, who was he was in the Amazon, wasn't he? He was lost in the Amazon.
He was presumed dead in the Amazon.
Yeah.
jungle. Yes.
Because he was a test pilot, right?
I can't remember if he was a test pilot, but obviously he went down in a plane. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was a good way to have her exit the series in a graceful way.
Beautiful way.
And I'm
You know,
glad I'm glad Jill. Oh, go ahead, PvP.
I just want to say I just love that final scene with Emma and Steed.
Right.
I think doesn't she kiss him on the cheek, or
Yeah.
there's a little kissing somewhere?
Yeah.
And she,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
she says a couple of things. I can't remember the exact dialogue, but
Yeah.
Emma. Thanks.
yeah, it's a beautiful
Yeah.
scene.
I was just going to
gives
go
bit of
into
advice.
that. I was going to say Jill. Jill has that scene. I'm glad she plays it. And then PvP, you started talking about that exact scene. So we're great minds think alike.
yeah, I love that show. I think
Yeah.
Avengers is a classic.
One of the best.
Yeah. Well, the
Yeah.
Emma Peel ones, anyway.
You got it.
I'm not so crazy about the Linda Thorson ones that followed.
No, I did. I watched those, and it was just kind of I like the Avengers. It's on, but there's no Diana Rigg, and it just it lost so much. But we still watched it kind of out of, it's just part of the routine.
Yeah, well,
you know?
there were some really good Thorson episodes. I have to be fair.
Yeah, there's some intriguing ones.
There was,
but-
well, what was that? Was the first one called Invasion of the Earthman? Like, that was kind of an interesting sci-fi spin on that one. And there were some interesting episodes, but I don't think Thorson had the chemistry with
No.
Patrick was the problem, right? They just didn't They didn't mesh the same way that
Is
Diana
that the
Rigg
one
did.
that's right after Diana Rigg?
I think it might be. I'd have to look it up on an episode guide.
Because
but-
I feel like I did see one episode with the next one, and it seemed like they were trying to make him a mentor to her more than a equal. So that's
Yeah.
a little bit of a different
yeah,
dynamic.
well, she was kind of an inexperienced agent, I think.
Yeah.
At the start of that final season that she was in.
But the thing, you know, when they
Well, before you get
when-
into it, Stone Rocket, I gotta say hello to James Caserta, and Brogu says goodbye, everyone. Goodbye, Brogu.
oh no,
Goodbye.
goodbye.
Gotta go. Yeah.
Gotta
Brogu's
go.
Yeah.
But it's
we were
fun.
losing one.
It's Fun
We're
Day
losing-
Friday. It's a
Yeah, we're
party.
losing one of our baby Yodas. Hopefully, we
Oh,
still have
dear.
the other one.
Yeah.
Bionic Fire Truck is here. I don't know if I've seen you before.
Wow.
That's a cool name.
There's the name.
Awesome name.
I started watching Man from Atlantis on Blu-ray. It's pretty awesome. Oh, I haven't seen that. And hello to Suzanne. Has
Hi,
anybody
Suzanne.
seen Man
Hey,
from
Suzanne.
Atlantis?
Yeah. That had wasn't that Patrick Duffy?
Patrick Duffy. That's
Yeah.
the guy. Yeah.
And the way he swam must have been really hard on his back because it was weird.
I never actually saw any of those. I've heard.
I saw. I don't think I watched the whole episode, but I
Yeah.
remember it being advertised, and I think I saw maybe the first one. I don't know.
Yeah, I think.
Wait, Danger Diabolic it's a series, not a movie.
They do have some movies. Yeah,
Oh,
it's actually a comic book, I think, originally.
oh, okay, I see.
And Bionic
It's
Fire
from the French. You know,
says
those
it's
French
a
folks.
good channel. Happy to subscribe. Thank you so much
Oh,
for
sweet.
subscribing, Bionic Fire Truck.
Yeah.
I'm
Jill's
glad to have you
channel
around.
is awesome, right? PvP.
Yes, it is. Yes, it certainly
But
is.
Bizarro Joe, I just stumbled in on my lunch break. AI
Ah,
Gore's Rhythm sent me here. Wow. AI Gore's Rhythm sent you here. And I don't
Or is
even
it Al Gore's?
Al Gore's rhythm.
know Al Gore's Rhythm.
That's hilarious.
Al Gore makes more sense than AI Gore.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
now,
you know,
I'm sure there's
yeah.
an AI of Al Gore somewhere.
Yeah,
Okay, now-
Al Gore invented the internet, you know.
Yeah, and I'm visualizing him getting down and dancing, and it's a rather disturbing image. I got
That is a very disturbing image.
Oh boy.
Bizarro Joe says, if we're talking Star Trek, I have to maintain that Enterprise has one of the best messages in the finale. The true final frontier is the limitless possibilities of humanity. And that's true. If you watch just the very end credits of Star Trek Enterprise, the last episode, it's not bad. But if you watch the actual episode, you're in trouble.
I say blah to that. Space is the final frontier.
Well, but
Not humanity. That's so
but it's the exploration.
it's our
of
it's
the
it's
final
it,
frontier that
you
puts
betcha.
us in touch with our humanity.
that's there you go, Jill. I like
And-
that much better.
I'm in,
Hey,
Spock
you know-
says
I'm in space. I'm in space.
there
You know,
are
another
always
show-
possibilities.
Speaking of Final Frontiers, you know, another show that I really like that explored the frontier setting was Firefly.
Yes,
right.
a show cut too soon, but I know I need to watch it, but I can see the appeal why people love that show. I can see why.
It's an amazing show. It's only 14 episodes, unfortunately, because Fox Network screwed it up so bad when they ran the series. They showed it all out of order. They showed the pilot last.
Wow, again.
That's
Showed
so
it-
dumb.
It ran for like 3 months before they canceled it.
And by
They all-
pilot, do you mean the movie?
The
Serenity?
the 90-minute
Or-
TV pilot. Joe.
Yeah.
The movie is
Which-
later. Okay, the movie.
Yeah, the
is
movie.
end.
Yes, yes,
The last
Serenity, yeah.
Yeah, well, the confusing thing is the pilot is titled Serenity as well as the movie.
That's what I.
titled
That's
Serenity.
why I got confused. Actually,
Well, yeah, I can understand why, because it is confusing even for me. You know, it's like, you know, well, why? You know, well, I mean, it makes sense in this context. the movie title makes sense in context if you know the series. But yeah, the 90-minute pilot was fabulous. It introduced all the characters really well. It had a great storyline, really good pacing. It was, tight. There was no slow bits, no boring bits. Everything served the story. The dialogue was amazing. The actors were excellent. It was just one of those really rare, pilot episodes that really worked. And to show it last and not introduce the characters properly was one big nail in the coffin, I think. And also, they preempted it several times for like football games. And I think there was one week they even showed an Adam Sandler movie instead of Firefly.
What? Okay,
I
I understand them pushing around sci-fi for football. And speaking of which, DJ Knight says the Super Bowl is Sunday.
Oh, that's right.
I would not even know that if you guys wouldn't tell me. Only because of this show that I looked up something. That I looked up pop culture news. Did I even know the Grammys happened? I didn't know about the Grammys.
Well, again, it's a bunch of virtue signaling crap, like everything has been doing in the entertainment industry these past several years. And again, nobody wants to touch that, and people have just had enough. And I know for the Super Bowl, nobody outside of the people who are fans of the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs, and of course all the sycophants of a woman with the letters TS in her name. Yeah, most people are probably gonna watch, but outside of it, nobody really cares. I don't. Heck, I'm seeing too many advertisements of saying you can watch the Super Bowl on Tubi. Yeah, the one time where I actually have a way to easily access the Super Bowl, it's not something I'm excited to watch. My parents don't want to watch it because my family are pissed that the Washington Redskins, or now the Commanders, they were so close. They were so close to getting in the Super Bowl, and they lost to they lost to the Philadelphia Eagles.
And this is a subject I don't know too much about, but I'll take your word for it that it is. Yeah, that is something. From what I tell from football fans, they like college football more than they like the.
My mom loves the Tennessee Volunteers. She loves college football, but not as she loves college football more than she loves and the NFL.
That's the same way that my father was. He enjoyed watching college sports, football and basketball in particular. Never once watched professional sports except for tennis and golf on occasion.
Huh.
Yeah.
I think the only thing my grandfather ever really I mean, yeah, sure, he watches like the regular NFL series, and of course I think he just happens to watch like the stuff like the college football stuff with the Volunteers, like my mom does. But he does love. I think he said he's even been to a couple of Kentucky Derbies.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Snortopupus Q Burr says, and the easiest way to defeat AI in the Trek universe is to drive it crazy with illogic, or have sex with it, or just kiss it.
Right. Well, in Star Trek, the kiss is essentially the analogy for sex because it's a family show.
You will not.
Yeah, but also apparently Data is also fully functional. So
okay. And when I said that, I meant the original series, although there was that one time.
Sherry Jackson as Andrea the android. Oh boy.
But yes, Data is a fully functional.
And he can be used as a flotation device.
Okay.
Just don't activate both those functions at once.
Well, didn't Tasha Yar basically use Data as a flotation device at one point?
Well,
nobody knows what really happened.
I don't know.
Yeah, but I think sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go right ahead.
No, there's a I know this might be a little like pardon my language here, but there's a joke with Robot Chicken, or at least two jokes. One involves the character from Dexter's Laboratory, the aptly named Dexter, like he creates a robot version of his mom. Again, that's based on something that actually happened in the actual cartoon where his mother was sick and he created a robotic version of her to do all the housework when she couldn't do it. But yeah, they use that same premise for a joke for Raw Chicken, and all the people calling it was like, yeah, is there other functions she can do? It's like, yeah, yeah, of course. And that's the automatic thing. And hell, the other joke is more direct. Like, gaze upon this amazing machine. Yes, sir. Yeah, can you it? What? Can you F it? Can you F it? No.
Oh dear.
Everybody leaves the room. Everybody thinks whenever you see a robot that looks humanoid or female or looks vaguely attractive, the one thing everyone wants to know is, can you? Yeah. It's just so wrong.
I just with Andrea, I would just Andrea the android, I just hold hands with her on the front porch on a swing, sipping lemonade. That's how romantic I would get.
Aw. That's wholesome. That's perfectly wholesome.
Yeah.
But again, it's all those horny fools that ruin it. It's always the horny fools that
right.
ruin it.
I mean,
yeah,
you
I
don't
love
have to sexualize all androids.
I love Dexter's Laboratory, and especially the
Me
final
too.
episode where he reveals he needs everybody in the family to help him with his
Oh man,
you know,
that
and
is
he-
the
and-
best episode
Yeah.
of the show. Me and my dad. That's why my dad's personal favorite episode. Last but
Yeah.
not beast. That is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, he reveals the lab, and his parents are like, "What?"
Yeah,
then-
but he ends up erasing their memories at the end.
but
Of
the old
course.
monkey, he uses that eraser beam.
Yeah, well, him accidentally too. So
he-
the only person
so
who remembers
Dex-
is Dee Dee.
Yeah, Dexter doesn't.
She must be. He must have tried to erase her memory, but he couldn't do it. It didn't work on her or something.
No. Well, I mean, again, we already have seen through Dee Dee's actions. Yeah, she's not. She doesn't have much in terms of brains up there. Sure, we have seen her do well in school. She might have done well in school, but Dee Dee's has average intelligence compared to Dexter. But he's kind of again sort of a jerk.
Yeah, I think Dee Dee's is quite athletic too, isn't she? If I remember
Yeah,
right.
She is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's athletic, but literally, it's just weird how she's literally wearing that tutu like 24/7. That is just weird. That she even
She's
goes-
always ready for ballerina class.
That's right. And one of my favorite episodes is when Dexter, the dog, follows him home, and he's like, "I wish I could understand you," and then he gets a brainstorm, and he makes a special formula. It's a pill or something.
Yeah, that makes
and the
that
dog
makes it
can talk.
It's annoying as hell.
And
Yeah,
it's hilarious because he hears dogs barking, and he's like, "I can hear you barking. I'm a dog too." And it's like, that's what they're saying.
That's
Other
exactly
dogs.
what they're saying. That makes sense.
yeah.
Well, yeah.
Here's my dog. I found my dog. Here's my man.
Yeah.
I found my man. I found you.
Yeah, it's like the thing, and he's like alerting Dexter to.
Yeah.
He's like, what, and it's like the thing, and it's
Dogs-
like it
dogs
turns
are-
out to be nothing.
Dogs are so simple-minded.
Yeah.
I've amended my theory about Dee Dee. The memory erasure did work, but she's always into his stuff anyway. So she's
Yeah.
always going to find
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
His
exactly.
lab.
That's the point.
And eventually, he just gave up.
All right. Now, Dexter, what I told you not to throw that bird around for? Mom, it's not my fault. I built him a secret lab. Boom. Move, Dexter. Now you gotta erase mom and dad's memories again. Move, Dexter. Move, Dexter. What was the parent was so funny. Oh, God.
And I wanted to. I thought exactly the same thing, James Cassardi, when everybody was talking about sports. Is that I thought of chess boxing? That's my favorite. That's so fun. It's a real thing where people box and then they have a chess match.
Chess
at the same
match.
time. So they
Really?
change rounds. Yeah.
So is this a sport that is very popular in Mother Russia?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. It's just one round is boxing, one round is chess.
Okay. Are there videos? I got to see a video of this now, Jill. I got to see this. Does they're on the YouTube videos
Hey.
of this? I'm intrigued.
Yes. I'll go look for one. Sort of Poopus
Right on.
Cooper says,
Yeah.
sadly, this old bear has to go now. Have fun
Uh-oh.
destroying the universe.
Okay,
don't
yeah.
wanna
And by the
destroy the
way,
universe.
the comment you said about bears taking over the universe, I think I should direct you to a channel of mine who's a friend of mine named Bear64. Go check him out and make all the bear puns you want in his comment section, especially when he goes live. Trust me, he will be laughing his head off at all the puns. He loves puns to death. So all the bear puns you can make, just put them all out there for him. He'll be laughing. Trust me.
There you go. There's your...
than the average bear. Hey, boo
Let me find some chess boxing for PvP. He'd like to see this. Hopefully a very short video. Oh yeah,
Okay.
this one's short.
underwater teabagging. That'd be a hilarious sport.
Underwater teabagging. Oh, no.
Oh god.
God.
Oh wait, no, I said teabag. It's tobogganing.
Oh.
Possible. Underwater. How is that possible?
Actually, the teabagging is more. It sounds more intriguing than.
Yeah, exactly.
toboggan.
That's the only thing that would make sense underwater, not tobogganing. I know Santa tobogganing. That would sound fun, but you got to be out somewhere in some dune air, some sand dunes somewhere. That'd be
Yeah,
something
Sounds
to
like a
do.
college.
I don't know how you could toboggan underwater. That sounds bizarre. Actually. Oh.
Bizarre. Sounds more like in some pop. Oh, okay.
Oh wow.
It's exactly as how I pictured it.
This is insane.
Okay.
Unbelievable. I
Chess
never-
boxing was invented by French who?
Comic
French
book.
comic book artist
Oh wow.
Enki Bilal and adapted by Dutchman.
Bien sûr.
It's like names I cannot
Wow.
pronounce.
I won't even try to
Names I cannot
pronounce those names.
But basically, it's what you think it is.
That's incredible, Jill. I never, in my wildest, nightmares, would have thought something like this existed. This just seems wrong. I don't picture chess guys beating the crap out of each other. I really don't.
Yeah. Well, I think Uwe Boll may disagree, but I'm not sure. Maybe he should take up chess boxing. But I mean, again, he's fought his critics. So yeah.
That's amazing. Thank you, Jill. Big thank you.
You're welcome.
And
Glad I could help.
and Jill, you might like to know, Harpo has hopped into my lap,
Uh-oh.
That's sweet.
and Harpo is my avatar, and he's here. I don't have a camera, but he's here in my lap. He was curious.
Harpo's the TOS fan, right?
He's the original series fan,
Yeah, that's what I
and
thought.
his brother Chico is a TNG fan. And Harpo's favorite character is Captain Kirk, and Chico's favorite character in TNG is Worf.
Oh, hey, that's a
I'd go
good
with that.
choice.
Yeah, and Chico likes westerns and film noir, and Harpo likes science fiction movies and war action classics.
Wow.
So Stone Rocket,
Yeah.
how come you never got a Groucho? Like you need to complete the trio.
Oh, I have a small place, and two cats is actually
More
a
than
little too
enough.
much.
Yeah.
Because I would prefer to have a larger place for my two cats to run around, but
True.
yeah, I've been asked that on the Blu-ray.com forum. They're like, well, why no Groucho or Zeppo? And I go, well, why no Groucho, Zeppo, or Gummo? It's because I have limited space and a limited budget.
Well, yeah. If you had all the brothers, then you need like a mansion or something.
Yeah. I mean, if I had a big place, I would have at least 4 cats and 2 dogs. So but I don't.
You'd have a zoo.
Yeah, I would have a zoo. Cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria.
Canadian Spider-Man says we love exploring with a snorkel and a backpack, jerky, and maple syrup.
Maple syrup. Yeah, that would be
Oh, beef
fantastic
jerky. I love beef
to go hiking with Canadian Spider-Man.
Mm.
That would be fun because I
would
like
be
to
great.
I like to hike and camp, and I haven't done it for so many years. I loved going out west, and especially the Southwest, with my younger brother and our mutual pal from our hometown. The three of us would go camping just about every other year back in the 80s and the early 90s.
I always feel the same way, that Canadian Spider-Man would be a great tour guide for so many places.
Oh, yeah. Especially since I've never been to Canada. I'd love to hang out with Canadian Spider-Man. Of course, also hang out with PvP and watch a lot of classic movies.
Well, you do know that Spidey lives like only like maybe a 90-minute drive or something away from me, right?
Oh, really? Well, then
Yeah.
I've got to come up and visit you guys.
I'm in Kelowna,
Uh-huh.
and which is the central Okanagan Valley, and Spidey is up in the North Okanagan. The biggest city there is Vernon, which is my hometown where I was born, and I think he's on an offshoot where you take a road about maybe half an hour. I think he's closer, maybe out to somewhere like Lumbee, which is where my grandparents lived for many years.
Uh-huh.
I'm not exactly sure of his exact location because I don't know if Spidey's ever actually mentioned the exact town he's near, but
He's
I'm guessing he's out around Lumbee somewhere.
yeah, he's got basically his backyard. It seems like it's just this whole wilderness.
Well, basically, he seems like
Yeah.
he spends all
That's
his
right.
time on the mountain with bonfires. So
Yeah, there you go.
That's right. You wouldn't have to go far for your first tour guide
Oh, yeah.
seeing
Yeah.
me with Canadian
Yeah,
Spider-Man,
we're-
because his backyard is a place you want to go hiking.
Yeah,
yeah, we're probably about 90 minutes apart, Stone Rocket.
yeah. PvP and Jill and I don't know if Jet Sparks, is that Jet Sparks?
Yes,
Is that,
that's right.
yeah. Jet Sparks. I'm not sure if any
Oh,
of
maybe
you
it's not right.
have any of you seen Anne of Green Gables?
No, I have not. I have not. But I know if you're, it is a beautiful place. I mean, I haven't been there since 2016, but the greatest beauty of my home state of Tennessee. But I currently live in Illinois. But always go to the Smoky Mountains in Gatlinburg. It's beautiful up there.
Yeah.
You talking the TV show?
Well, it was a series that was shown on PBS in the 80s and the early 80s, and my my parents and my both of my sisters were watching it, and of course it was just on when I happened to be, there getting a snack for myself, and I just noticed I was going, oh, well, it's kind of like set in the what I call the Little House on the Prairie days, or maybe a little later, and but I noticed how beautiful the countryside was. And I ended up, when they repeated it, I ended up watching it with the family. And I just said, boy, I'd like to go to Canada because this is just gorgeous. The gorgeous scenery there.
Yeah.
And, because that's where I went, a show or a movie that shows Canada, and the beauty of Canada, at least in that area. And made me think about, hey, I got to go up there and visit.
Yeah, I'm just looking it up here, Stone Rocket. It's a 1908 novel by a Canadian author.
Yeah, 1908.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Lucy Maud Montgomery is the lady who wrote it.
Right.
And it takes place the adventures of an 11-year-old orphan girl, Anne Shirley.
Yep.
Yes. Well, I often, whenever I'm in my car, I often play an audiobook for my children, except, the older ones learn to bring his phone and his headphones, unfortunately. But I can still subject my younger child to audiobooks. And I have started Anne of Green Gables for her. And it does seem, it is set like 1908, back when they used to put kids to work. And I was like, damn, kids didn't,
no child labor.
Yeah, it was a favorite novel of my mother's. And so she was right there from the get-go. And of course that interested my younger sister. And of course my older sister, who is had already was, moved out and was in the midst of her nursing career. And she of course was watching it. So when she came up and they were watching it on the repeat, she was like very familiar with it. But it was the same way with I wasn't really into Masterpiece Theater like my folks were, but they were watching Poldark, the original Poldark series from the 70s.
Oh yeah.
And that's essentially it's a soap opera. But it's in the late 1700s. And I was hooked when they repeated that. And I'm sitting there going, I've never watched these BBC period dramas that were shown on Masterpiece Theater, because I thought, that's not my cup of tea. But for some reason, I got hooked on that series.
I've heard it's a good show.
Yeah, the original. Now they did remake it, but this is the original with Robin Ellis as Poldark.
Yeah, I've always wanted to watch that. Is that kind of like it's not like a swashbuckler or something, is it?
No, it's set in Cornwall, and there's it's kind of a class against class. You have the working class and the aristocracy, and Poldark kind of goes between those worlds, and it gets to this conflict between Poldark and the Warlegans. He's a real rat bastard. but the show ends. It doesn't really conclude. It's like, hey, isn't there more to this?
Oh no!
Because the way it ends, it's like, there has to be more to the story, and I don't know if the revival series that they did just in the last 10 years or so, I don't know if they progressed the story any further.
Yeah.
So if it was a sequel or a reboot.
Yeah.
Kind of sucks.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure about that, Jill. I don't know if they redid the original books, the original the original series, and then they extended. I have no idea, but it kind of leaves you hanging. And
that can happen sometimes where you fall into a soap opera. You don't mean to do it, but it
and I'm guilty of, because of my best friend. We both worked at the university hospital. I worked in the medical supply storeroom, and he worked in IT. But we always, when we could, our schedules allowed it. We had lunch quite often together, and he kept talking about this telenovela on Univision, and it was called Soñadores, and it means young dreamers or something like that. And he just kept talking about it, and it got to the point where I knew all the characters, I knew the basic story, and so I go.
So you might as well go watch it.
And I said, okay, I'm going to sit down and watch it, and if I'm totally lost, I'm going to give up, because I don't speak Spanish. And I watched it. I knew all the characters. I knew what was going on. Didn't understand what they were talking about specifically, but I could follow the story, and so I kept watching it. But
Nice.
one reason, of course, being a toxic male, the one reason I stuck, kept watching was because this absolutely gorgeous actress playing Jackie. And her name was Araceli Arumbala, and she's just this gorgeous redhead.
Oh, redhead!
She's the rich girl, but then also Anna, played by trying to think of her name. She was really cool too. She was she was almost like a semi-goth type chick. Who's
Does this help you with your Spanish? Did you get better at Spanish
no.
by watching this?
No. I'm a dunderhead when it comes to foreign languages.
So you were just
Me
watching
too.
you were just there for the eye candy, is what you're saying, Stone Rocket?
Yeah, and it was an interesting story. It was a lot of fun. But then I got on that was one of the first.
Yeah, well, the
Discussion.
reason why it works, the reason why you can follow along with the story is because in Spanish dramas like that, they're really expressive and they speak a lot with their hands. So
Yeah,
that helps it.
I was going to say that one of the first discussion forums I joined was a forum for the telenovelas in English. So everyone there either was a native English speaker or they were bilingual and were primarily Hispanic. But I got to meet a lot of women on that discussion forum, and a few gentlemen too, all Hispanic for the most part, and there were people that would give summaries for those that didn't speak Spanish, and sometimes I would look at those to double check on a few details. But I posted there as Largo, and I started doing comedy bits where I would parody what was going on in the show. And I had so many people responding, and women from Russia, women from Japan, just all over the world responding.
Wow.
And
You had fans.
it was to put it bluntly, ego feed, but it was a lot of fun to entertain them. And I watched a couple of telenovelas along with everybody, and I did comedy. And I guess that was my defense mechanism, because I felt kind of stupid. Well, what the heck am I doing watching these soap operas on the Univision?
So the soap opera
That's
lady.
a testament to those soap operas.
So all those lady soap opera fans were really overjoyed that a guy was watching them. And
Well, it was funny because some of them actually I got to talk to on the phone.
wow.
And there was an older Hispanic woman in New York City named Olga. I got to talk to her on the phone, and then an older gal in Texas, Rosemarie, got to talk to her. And then what was interesting was there was this younger Hispanic woman who was just starting college, and she wanted to talk to me on the phone, and I thought that was a little weird, but we talked for hours, and she just goes, I like talking to guys. I like hanging around guys.
Yeah, same thing here.
She was a lot of fun. She was a very intelligent gal, and she was going places, and
you were a bit of a stud muffin then, Stone, right?
Well, yeah, in my own head I was, but yeah, there was a lot of, and then Paula, who wasn't Hispanic, she was also from Texas. She was really cool, and she was also a Star Trek fan.
Awesome.
And she said that her sister, her older sister,
connect with her. Crazy.
Yeah, she told me her older sister was also a Star Trek fan, and she was inspired to become a doctor because of Dr. McCoy.
Awesome.
Awesome sauce.
Yes, that's what Star Trek's all about. Is inspiring. And
if
it's not inspiring, it's not Star Trek.
That's true.
That's why
pretty. Hello.
That's why nothing since Enterprise is Star Trek.
Yeah. Now, Canadian Spider-Man, I think, had a comment about my job.
He did have a comment.
I'm sorry, I need to respond to that.
I just thought it was funny, but yes, I'll go find it again. Oh,
yeah, thank you.
What was it?
It was something about, I think it was something to do with pharmaceuticals or something. But yeah, my job, Canadian Spider-Man, if you're still there, I worked in the medical supplies storeroom, and we just had basic medical supplies, and the pharmaceuticals, we didn't really have anything. Yeah, it's not a drug company. Just I worked in the hospital, and I delivered sterile instruments, sterile instrument trays, syringes, needles, things like that. And some patient bedside supplies, but we didn't have any drugs. We just had IV fluids, mostly IV bags, and some of the normal saline and dextrose were in bottles as well for the IV pulls and whatnot. That's just the stuff that they mix the drugs in. Just the basic fluids is what we carried in our pharmacy.
Oh, okay. So you
pharmacy
just
area.
had the hangover cure, not the party itself.
Right there. That's a good way of putting it. And then some of the bedside supplies for patients. I mean, silly. They're simple things like toothbrushes and toothpaste, combs and brushes, that kind of thing. Patient supply bags, water pitchers, and things, just basic things like that. And then the most elaborate things we had were like I said, sterile instrument trays and individual sterile instruments and suture, and very, very expensive suture. And I worked all over the hospital, mostly in the intensive care units. I did for a number of years. I delivered supplies first thing in the morning to the emergency room. So it was a I was just a glorified clerk.
You sold Band-Aids to 3-year-olds. They are addicted. Yeah, no, you're not wrong. Canadian Spider-Man, my daughter loves Band-Aids. I have to put them away, or she has pretend boo-boos that she uses. I'm like, you're not supposed to waste the Band-Aids.
Yeah, your daughter, I am stuck on Band-Aid because Band-Aids are stuck on me.
Yes.
I've never heard of a Band-Aid fetish. This is a new one for me, guys.
What? It's not a
Well,
fetish.
it's not a fetish. It's just
it's an obsession, maybe.
Well,
yeah.
Okay,
she doesn't do that.
But
but if it's just a plain Band-Aid, she won't go for it. But it's whenever I buy the cartoon ones. It's the cartoon
those are fun.
special Band-Aid. Okay.
I still have some Looney Tune Band-Aids that my older sister got for me. That was funny. When I had an appointment. It was kind of neat. The place that I worked in for the last 12 years of my career, it was away from the main hospital. It was just one of their facilities that had a lot of clinics, and that was more low key. I didn't have to run around with dealing with emergency rooms or intensive care units, that kind of thing. But when I had an appointment and I had to go into the critical care lab to get a blood sample taken, I asked one of the women there. They usually put this Coban tape around with some cotton balls after they draw blood from you. And I said, well, I don't really need that. Do you have a Spider-Man Band-Aid? And she sure did. She had a Spider-Man.
Oh man.
So I got a Spider-Man Band-Aid, and it was like, all right,
Wow.
Get going.
Lucky.
Well,
Lucky
if you're gonna end up spending $500 on a Band-Aid, it's got to be a Spider-Man one.
Yeah. And then some of the Women's Health Clinic and some of the other clinics, they had these little stickers that we give kids. And I would always, especially the Women's Health Clinic, I always bug them because most of their stickers were, of course, something appealing to little girls. And I would go through and I'd go, oh, that's not good. I said, do you have any dinosaurs? And so I'd go through and sometimes one of the medical assistants, Crystal, she would go through the stickers and she would find like superhero ones or like I said, a dinosaur, and she would save those for me.
Oh, that's very nice of her.
Yeah.
Canadian Spider-Man says, in a group of guys, the girl gets extra attention naturally. Of course, they would want that. Sci-fi conventions, especially, I bet. But I haven't been to one yet. Oh, that's what I wanted to hit and thought. Yeah, I guess so. But I just happen to like cool stuff, and guys like cool stuff, so it's just just happens.
That's cool.
But,
I'm glad you do. I'm glad you like guy stuff.
Yeah, right. And I don't know. It just worked out that way.
And
Anyway,
you like stuff like Anne of Green Gables. You like stuff that appeals to a female audience as well. So
I suppose so. I actually only got up to chapter 3. I haven't read the whole book yet, or
Mhm.
listen. It's an audiobook.
yeah,
Actually, and
It was okay.
I just want to mention Anna Green Gables is set in Prince Edward Island, by the way.
yeah, That's right. Thanks for reminding me. That Prince Edward Island. Yeah,
Oh, the TV show.
Well, that's where the book was
also set.
based, and I think the TV show as well. And
Yep.
and I hear PI is just a gorgeous. It's I think the smallest province in Canada because it's just a little tiny island, I believe. Really, there's not much to it, but I believe the scenery is gorgeous.
Oh
From
yeah,
everything
that's what
I've
I've heard.
always heard. Yeah, big tourist island. Like in the summer, I'm sure the American tourists flock up to PAI because it's just got that scenery, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's kind of
it
got that
appeals to me.
hometown. I think it's one of those little spots in Canada that's kind of hasn't changed a lot over the years. It's
Uh-huh.
a little bit isolated, which kind of helps maintain its charm, right? So
Yeah. Yeah, that would help tremendously.
yeah,
Well, you
Keep
you should
it
get to a convention, Canadian Spider-Man, and it's a lot of
Oh
fun.
yeah. I've been to only one and was the only one. Well, there's been conventions since, but at that time in '76, it was the first and only science fiction convention in Iowa, and it was in, like I
Wow.
mentioned the last stream, it was at the Fort Des Moines Hotel in Des Moines, Iowa, and it was the Iowa Cobulon, and it was a disaster. But
I know
anyway,
the feeling. Yeah,
yeah,
the only convention I ever went to was a Star Trek. Well, it was kind of a general sci-fi, but it was
uh-huh.
mainly Star Trek because the two guest speakers were none other than William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy.
Oh, that would be sweet to,
Oh,
yeah.
I was so jacked. I think I paid like $165 for the ticket because I wanted to get their autographs, right?
You got it. And what year was
So
that PvP?
around 1997.
Oh, 97? Okay.
late 90s,
Uh-huh.
let's put it that way. I mean, I can't be
Sweet.
precise because my old brain cells are wearing out. But um, and Shatner and Nimoy hit the stage for like an hour, reminiscing about TOS, reminiscing about doing all the films. They were
Oh,
absolutely hilarious. They were great. I'll never forget when they first came out on stage, because I guess cameras were allowed. Stupid me, I didn't think to take a camera, right? Which I should have. But I thought cameras would be, banned, right? I didn't think they'd
Oh,
allow.
yeah.
There was like, I mean, when Shatner and Nimoy hit the stage, I'm not kidding. I'm sure there must have been 30, 40, 50 people with cameras, flash, 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 hundreds of flash bulbs going off, taking pictures of these two guys, right? And I'm just like, wow, this is amazing. And then Shatner and Nimoy got into their dialogue, and they started, taking questions from the audience towards the end of it, and it was fantastic. I mean, I was really digging that. But
Yeah.
then it got to the point where you got the autographs and you had to go behind a curtain, right? They had it, curtained off because, I don't know how many people bought the extra, spent the extra money, maybe 50, 60 people, 100 people, I don't know. Anyway, I'm in line, I'm waiting. Shatner and Nimoy are behind the tables, and I had brought a Xerox, photocopy of an old TV guide magazine from my local area from the 60s, right? Because I thought, they might get a kick out of reading that. I mean, stupid me. I should have known better. But anyway, I tried to, I put it on the table, and I just, as they're signing my stuff, right? I'm like, I just want to thank you guys. And I got those words out, and then the security behind them started growling at me, going, keep the line moving, move along, in that kind of tone, right? And I was
Yeah,
like,
and I would have just stayed there and just kept talking
yeah, but but
until they dragged me out of there. No, I
I should have, in hindsight. Well, that was me though. I was like,
Yeah.
30, some almost 30 years younger, and I was more of a, a sheepish person back then. I'm not like, if it was me at this
Yeah.
point in life, I would have told him, "Hey, I paid good money, and I want to thank these guys." And all I wanted to say was, I'd like to thank you guys for all the great years of entertainment you've given us fans. We really appreciate you, and I just wanted to say thank you. That's all I was going to say.
Yeah.
That was basically it, right?
And
I
you
couldn't
should,
even get that out.
yeah.
And you know what really
that's too
bothered
bad.
me, though? Also, what really bothered me is Nimoy never looked up once from signing. He had his face down, signing. He never looked up. He didn't engage. Shatner, on the other hand, at least did look at me, so I'll give him credit for that. And I think he did pick up the photocopy that I handed. I think Shatner picked it up and actually, at least glanced at it, because I was walking away feeling very depressed after meeting my heroes, because it didn't go the way I hoped it would. I glanced over my shoulder, and I never forget Shatner was looking right at me with sort of a perplexed look on his face. And I'm like, oh, geez. I just hope he appreciates the trouble I went to hand that over to him. And, to this day, I often wonder, but I was depressed.
Maybe he
for
was
days.
curious about you. That
Yeah.
seems like he was.
I can only hope,
Oh,
Joe, right?
That
Yeah.
is, yeah,
was
that's a
such a-
possibility. Just hold
was-
on to that, and that is
Yeah.
an unfortunate thing about conventions is sometimes they try to
They don't work.
shuffle people through and just get as much money as they can, and they don't
I-
really care about the actual fan to
I think,
actor experience.
Yeah.
And I want to finish this just for a second because
Sure.
this very thing is why you won't ever see Avery Brooks at a convention, because he said in a documentary, I don't remember which documentary, I watched so many, but
Uh-huh.
he said that these conventions treat people like cattle, and so I don't.
Yeah.
So that's why you don't see him there anymore.
Well, I
Yeah,
think-
and it makes sense, and also because he does. Also, I think there's a little thing we're saying. How's it? Someone asked him a question. Oh, how does it feel to be the first, like, deep apart? Like, no, he was like that whole thing about, oh, how does it feel to be like the first black captain in Star Trek? No, it didn't matter if he was
No.
black. He just said that he was just happy that he stood amongst some of the best captains in the franchise. But some people would still call him a war criminal. Or no, wait, that's Janeway. Sorry.
Yeah. Cisco,
Well, it depends. Well, that was that time that he poisoned an entire planet and everybody had to evacuate. But, but let's we don't talk about that one too
Yeah,
much.
Cisco-
But
I just
Cisco-
but also, it's false. He's not the first black captain anyway. It wasn't the captain of the Saratoga in Star Trek 4.
Cisco is my
Also, there was an admiral already.
yeah.
I mean, it's
Right. Cisco is my number 2 captain. Of course, my favorite is Kirk, but Cisco is a close second. And I love Cisco because he punched Q, which is something I would want to do.
Wouldn't we all?
I'm 100% agree with Stone Racket. Kirk is always going to be number 1, but Cisco is a close second, because I like Cisco because he reminded me a lot of Kirk.
Yeah,
Like, he
Avery
was
Brooks
take
is excellent. He's just
no
excellent.
prisoners,
Yeah.
kick him in the ass, punch him if you gotta. Like, he was a man of action, just like Kirk, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I put Picard lower, because Picard was like a diplomat, and
An
know,
administrator.
every
happened-
time, no, but
I
every time Picard was up against an alien adversary, he'd go, conference in the ready room or whatever, and they'd all go and sit around the damn table.
The only time he ever went unhinged was against the Borg, especially in First Contact.
Yeah.
well, yeah,
really,
he's a completely different character in the movies
Yeah.
at a certain point.
I just couldn't see Picard running a starship and surviving very long. And
Yeah.
you've got nasty aliens you got to deal with, and you go do a 15-minute conference around the table.
I
It's like,
eventually figured out that Captain Picard is just a subset of some of the characteristics of Captain Kirk without all of them, and that's what happened there.
without the good characteristics.
But it has the parts of Kirk that wants to understand others, and the part that's a nerd, but not the part that can also kick ass.
So he's kind of like the weak side of Kirk in The Enemy Within, is what you're kind of saying.
Yeah.
Yes!
The difference between TOS and TNG is Kirk would beam down to a planet, encounter a new alien, and then kick its ass. But in TNG, when they encounter a new alien life form, they all discuss their feelings.
Nice planet.
Well, oh no, wait. They ask Deanna Troy what the alien is feeling, and
Oh,
she
gosh.
sometimes knows.
Yeah, sometimes she knows, but I just in Generations, you know, Picard breaks down, he's crying with Guinan, I think, and I just went, you girly man, what the heck's going on? Kirk would never cry like that.
Well, you know what? Always one of
From a
the
being.
things that always bothered me about Next Generation was, you know, I always found Troy to be one of those extraneous kind of characters that didn't really even need to be in the show. And I'm thinking, okay, you got a counselor, fair enough, fair enough. Long space voyages, people go a little wacky in the head. Okay, a counselor, not a terrible idea. But why does the counselor need to be sitting on the bridge
Right,
next to the captain? Like,
right.
what?
Yeah. I think
Right,
they should,
right on the
I
other side
think
of the XO, right?
I think Suzanne says she needs to address
man.
real life now. Jill,
Yes.
enjoy your stream. So
Okay,
so long, Suzanne. It's
have a
nice
nice
that you
day there,
you joined
Suzanne.
us for a while. And you take
Yes,
care.
thank you.
Yes,
Yes,
have a
thank
good
you
one.
so much, Stone Racket, for saying that. I do want to say farewell to Suzanne. I hope you have a wonderful Friday. Enjoy your real life stuff. And
Yeah.
as far as Deanna Troy goes, this is my favorite scene of hers.
Chocolate is a serious thing.
Say what
That's-
you will about her,
Yeah,
but she
now,
knows what to do with
what
her
they sh-
ice cream.
Yeah, what they should have done, to explain her constant presence, or nearly constant presence on the bridge, is that not only is she a counselor, it's because of her empath abilities that they would want her on the bridge, you know, fairly regularly, on hand for being able to communicate with new life forms in some capacity, because she is gifted in that. But
Yes.
yeah, I would have made that more clear instead of, because, but I really hate that purple jumpsuit. I like her aqua dress. That was,
Ugh.
she looks spectacular in that. But I'm a toxic male. I make no apologies.
Yeah,
Right. She always had all sorts of different outfits that weren't Starfleet, and then,
Yeah, Starfleet regulation.
Yeah.
Captain Jellicoe comes aboard, and suddenly she's wearing
Yeah.
her uniform.
But in the pilot, she is in a blue Starfleet miniskirt with boots, and it's like, ooh la la.
Yeah, that was good. I like that.
That was
too.
awesome. I wish she would be that, wear that a little more often.
Answers not worn enough in TNG.
Yeah, and it's always a weird. There's always been a weird thing. I mean, I'm not privy to all the customs of. Hello, Tiger Stripes.
Yes, hello. Welcome to
Hi.
Tiger Stripes. How are you doing today?
I'm okay. How are y'all?
Oh, wonderful. I'm sorry I had to change my show start time on
Oh,
the
no, that's fine.
last
That's
minute. I'd also like to announce a celebratory message from Penny. Y'all just got granddaughter to sleep. Yes, that is a win.
Does that mean we need to whisper?
Oh,
I think so.
well,
Don't
but
wake
also
the baby.
don't wake the baby. But I don't think we have to whisper. But
Yeah.
because she can turn down if we're too loud. She can turn us down on the volume.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's her
But-
choice.
Back to what I was saying, though. I know I'm not privy to like the customs of. I mean, because again, Deanna is supposed to be. She's half Betazoid, right?
Right.
Yeah. So again, that's a weird custom where
Yes.
like when there's a wedding, they have to strip down, which is a very fun thing
Yes.
about their culture.
That is, and there's a whole episode about that with Loxana, and she shows up exactly the way she wants to for her wedding, and that's the end of that relationship. But that's so great that she stood up for what she wanted. and Loxana Troy is cool. Sometimes.
Troy's wear standard uniform.
I like her
my
when-
gosh! I know where this is heading. The one single word we all would like to say whenever we see Will Wheaton. Oh my gosh.
I agree with you, Booger. I like Troy in the standard uniform too, but I've always been more of a Crusher guy anyway. Oh, Beverly Crusher.
I thought
Beverly Crusher, not
my first thought was Wesley as well, so I went there as well. Be careful, phrasing,
Yeah.
Booger.
Yeah.
Shut
up, Wesley.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Shut up, Wesley.
All right.
Sir, I know this may finish me as an acting ensign, but
Shut up, Wesley.
Yeah.
Oh man.
My sentiments exactly.
Yeah.
Is that a dream sequence?
No.
No, that's
Ew.
just
And even
That's just the
his
standard
mom
episode.
tells him to shut up too.
Wow.
yeah. You know nobody likes you when your own mother hates you.
Yeah, I think millions of fans kept thinking that exact same thing for every episode Wesley appeared in.
I haven't seen that particular episode, but that seems unprofessional to me. I would not expect that of the captain.
Oh, you haven't seen enough Wesley then to understand.
It was important.
I think I understand the concept.
Okay.
I was there at the time.
Well, in the context of the scene, it was important to do that.
Okay.
And Picard is the commander on the bridge, so.
Yeah.
Well, I think telling someone shut up, ensign, would be
more appropriate.
Yes.
But even then he does. But then again, he's not. He was in that role unofficially, wasn't he?
Yeah, acting ensign. He hadn't even gotten into Starfleet Academy yet.
Yep.
And he was just speaking out of turn, so and that's actually not that bad, because Picard is actually taking control of his ship at that moment and making sure that they can do what they need to do. And he was Wesley says that everything I've said would have been listened to if it came from an adult officer. Like, it's kind of just like he was posturing, he was playing the victim here. And so basically he just had to leave the bridge. He was actually being pretty petulant. So it was a good move, I think. Canadian Spider-Man says the line is valid since it has endured as a fan favorite. Shut up, Will Wheaton. Oh yeah.
And given all the crap, a bunch of crap he said over the years, yeah, everyone always expects that single line. Just shut up. Just shut up. Oh man.
So, but since you are here, Tiger Stripes, we did get a fan saying, "Love the Trails of Middle Earth, Jill." So DJ Knight is enjoying our series.
Lovely.
Yes.
Thank you.
It was warranted. It's Wesley. Yeah. It would have been unprofessional if it was said to anyone else but Wesley.
Yes.
And yep. And so let's see what else we have here. We have lots of chats here that we can look at. Snowflakes afraid of itty bitty tiny needles. Oh, okay. That was when we were talking about.
Yeah, like the little ones they prick you with so they can get blood samples from you. It's not so bad.
And the only time it was ever bad was after I had my baby and they kept taking blood samples from me every few hours and instead of letting me sleep.
Ouch. It also depends on who's wielding the needle. I often say to people approaching me with a needle, "Are you a phlebotomist?" And if they say, "I don't know what that is," I'm like, "I'd like somebody else to do this, please."
Yeah, it sounds like
almost every one of them go, "Yes, I am."
Yeah, but that's a weird thing. I mean, also same thing is do not go into the medical field if you are hemophobic, meaning you faint at the sight of blood. So you're definitely in the wrong profession if you faint when you see blood.
Yeah, that would be weird if some Does that happen? Has someone done that before?
Oh yeah, no. There's I mean, that's a standing meme the interns who go into the surgery room for the very first time to observe, and one of them's bound to totally pass out because they just can't take the sight of blood. They stiffen up and they go right over like a tin soldier. I mean, I believe it really happens. You can't know until you see it. You know what I mean? You can't really know what that's going to be like until you see it. So I think that's a real thing.
One of my supervisors at the hospital, whenever he needed to go to the clinic and to have a blood sample taken, he had that condition where, just the sight of a needle, he just couldn't take it. So he'd always have to. Sometimes he would get almost to the point where he blacked out, but he would have to look away.
Sure.
But there's times where just going into a room, like when he was donating blood when he was in high school, he told me that he had basically someone to steady him because he was feeling faint just walking into the room.
He was a very brave person if he made a decision to donate blood and he had that phobia. That's guts.
Mike stuck it out. Yeah, and he's also Mike was one of my favorite supervisors, and he was a big Star Trek fan. So kudos to Mike.
Yes, it does. It does always sting, no matter what they say.
Yeah,
just had to get
if somebody's really good, you don't even feel
it.
And if the needle's thin enough, but it depends on their technique.
Yeah, that Tiger Stripes is exactly right, because there was this one woman in the critical care lab that whenever she used a wing cannula needle on me, I did not feel it. It was just I couldn't believe it, but the others it usually left a bruise or it really hurt.
Oh, that's terrible if you donate blood and then it looks like you're an addict or something because they did a bad job.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, it's the needles I've been pricked with were barely noticeable. They were like the size of like that mechanical pencil. And I know I was that kid that always pretended that the mechanical pencil lead was that thing, and I just pressed down it like I was injecting something in me. I was that weird kid that did that. But yeah, the whole term of fearing needles is trypanophobia. Heck, I think a character in a horror story that's like a hidden fear, like the surface fear is that she has that, but the deeper fear is she doesn't want to feel helpless.
That's interesting.
Wow. Oh, okay. Well, that's a great way to segue that into more of a pop culture kind of subject. Is playing on the fears that people really have. But I also wanted to. So one of the things I really loved reviewing last year was For All Mankind with Philip, and one of our traditions was to check in on the real For All Mankind drama that's happening right now, which of course are the astronauts who are stuck in the International Space Station thanks to the incompetence of Boeing's Starliner ship, their craft.
Yeah, I don't quite get what the problem is. Is there a problem docking the return ship, or?
What happened was the Starliner, the short story is that the Starliner, it made it to the International Space Station last year in June. They were just supposed to be there for 10 days, but there were helium leaks in the thrusters, and it turned out to be much more of a problem than they anticipated on the ground. And then the craft started making these weird, creepy noises, so they ended up evacuating the astronauts from the craft, and so they moved to the International Space Station. They evacuated it, and they sent the Boeing Starliner home. And then SpaceX's Crew 9, Dragon crew, they arrived with a craft that has 4 seats, but they only brought up 2 astronauts. So whenever Crew 9 goes home is when the Boeing Starliner crew will also go home. And it's supposed to be they might go home by April. It was supposed to be this month, but they have to wait for Crew 10 to come up to relieve Crew 9.
Wow, that's such a mess. Okay, here's my question: did the initial Boeing Starliner that they were in that was supposed to take them back, did it return back safely?
It did, but they were afraid of. There were safety concerns with
Sure,
it,
safety
and they didn't want to
first.
risk. Yeah, they didn't
Sure.
want to risk
Yeah,
the
no,
lives
that would
of
be
the
terrible.
crew.
Yeah. Ew, yikes.
Yeah. So they've been stuck up there. It's supposed to be 10-hour tour, 10 days, but it turned out to be almost 9 months now.
I have a
Okay,
question.
smokes.
I have a quick question, Jill. The Boeing Starliners, is that connected with NASA in any official way, or is that a different company?
I think that is connected with NASA, but
Okay.
not exactly. Let's see, Boeing.
Yeah, I was just wondering because since I assume Boeing built this thing, so
Yes,
they're dealing with a lot of their own internal issues, and not to mention all the planes that are breaking down due to some ridiculous political crap. Which again, oh man, this is why I believe in the idea of meritocracy and getting the most qualified people, just plucking plucking a random person off the street and say, yeah, you're hired.
I'm all for government
Absolutely.
oversight on certain things too, and that's my gut says that there's been no oversight on the repair of big planes for a long time, and then so in the absence of that, almost all companies are just going to toe the budget line, and they're not going to make repairs when they need to. They just won't. They'll just put it off until something terrible happens.
And a lot has happened, especially what happened recently. But that's mostly due to just incompetence of a pilot.
I haven't really looked into it that much, but certainly the one with the helicopter pilot seems real bad. It seems like real incompetence somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh wow, this is so beautiful, Jill.
And yeah,
the only good thing about it is that whenever you see these people who are stranded in space, they all look so happy. they all still look mighty happy to be there.
That's true. The Starliner crew have a good spirits about them. They don't express any animosity towards having to stay up there. And
they're very upbeat, very professional.
They are. They're very professional, and they say, "Well, since we're up here, we might as well get to work." And there they are, getting to work.
it's not really surprising, though, is it, guys? Like, I mean, they are so highly trained and so professional. I wouldn't expect anything less of them than to just, even under duress, to continue to be, top quality people and do their job.
I don't know. I haven't looked into it. I don't think people are vetted the way they used to be. I don't know the process anymore.
Well, I don't know either. But I'm just saying, I think these are probably some of the most professional people on the planet. So, because I mean, hey, you got to be pretty qualified to get up in one of these spacecraft, right? It's not like they're going to let Joe Schmo go up there and float around. Come on.
Yeah. They won't let him. They won't let Joe Schmo, like any Joe Schmo, come up there unless they pay like maybe $50,000 or like $500,000 to go up into space.
Yeah, but then Joe Schmo's just a passenger, right? He's not an active participant.
Yes, exactly. I mean, but that's the whole thing, though. I mean, again, I don't think we're gonna see like private space tours. At least, I don't think we're gonna even see it within this century.
Isn't Elon Musk working on that right now, though?
Well, here's hoping, but given what's been going on, what's all going on, I'm not really even.
I haven't heard anything about that. I mean, I'm sure he's happy to sell a seat to any billionaire who wants to pay $1 million.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
To go to the stratosphere. Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's where William Shatner went to. So you go to space for like a minute. For like a minute or two, not too long.
But there's a lot of incompetence with Bezos, because he did, like, as rich as he is, the man did not even have proper audio equipment, so you couldn't really hear his, like, Shatner. The thing that a man who played about exploring the final frontier, he finally gets to experience at his old age, and Bezos could, but he was too busy showering his bimbo now fiance with champagne. He was too busy doing that. Again, the man.
Maybe it was a decision to keep their privacy. That could be. I think that's my impression. I think they kept the media away from them as they were exiting the vehicle when they got back, because sometimes that kind of thing can be overwhelming, and you don't know if somebody's going to break down, and you don't want that on camera if it happens. So I think that was a choice. That's my gut.
Listening to Shatner was all I really cared about, but they did capture what he said. It's just, yeah, it is disappointing that Bezos didn't care too much about it. I thought he would have.
Well, again, I mean, some people. I mean, I think my dad has even said, "Oh yeah, Elon Musk seems to live like a rock star too." I mean, the only thing that sounds like a rock star moment that he did was taking over Twitter and turning it into X, and of course, him launching that convertible into space, which again.
Oh no, your dad's right about Elon. Elon has, I mean, rock star. Elon has many children by many different women. I don't know how he does that. I'm going to make a guess, my total guess. I think he walks up and says, I really like you. Would you like to have my baby? I will support you and this child for the rest of your life if you do. I think it really comes down to that, but that's pretty rock star.
Yeah, and that's the kind of thing I kind of got the impression of him. Yeah, again, there's a term for this, like, some crazy internet term that, yeah, Elon Musk is basically that kind of guy. Is that kind of guy. I mean, the same thing can apply to Jeff Bezos. I mean, just look at how his fiance was dressed at. Okay, yeah, just not gonna go in there.
Right. Well, no, she wasn't dressed. That was the problem. She wasn't
all kind
dressed.
of very personal. Very personal stuff. But I think the thing I heard about Bezos
isn't personal. It actually wasn't personal at all. She was undressed in public, so that was messed up.
Yeah.
She had something on, but there was nothing.
Yeah, but I think it also made the idea that maybe I guess Zuckerberg's not a robot after all. I guess.
Zuck? I don't think there's anything wrong with Zuck. I mean, he kowtowed to the government. Who wouldn't in that situation? I mean, at least now he's finding the guts to go public about it instead of just pretending it didn't happen or keeping his mouth shut. At least there's that.
I see it as a way of him just doing it to save face because he knows he's collaborated with some very nefarious reasons.
Oh, I see it as a way to stay out of prison.
That too.
Yeah, I think that's.
But the whole thing is, though, we have seen the edge of space, and I mean private exploration. That is going to be a thing where space exploration is going to be privatized. But I still believe one thing we definitely need to start doing, and we had a massive opportunity, but we missed it, was that giant elongated asteroid that most people at first thought was like was an alien spacecraft, but it was just a really elongated asteroid.
I don't know. I didn't know people thought that was aliens. But what were we supposed to do with the asteroid?
Well, again, a lot of asteroids, they contain a lot of elements that we could use. Again, stuff we could make components for, like semiconductors.
Well, when did this go by, this asteroid? Recently?
I think it went by around like midway of early of last year, I think.
Is this thing big enough to put a rover on? I mean, does it have an atmosphere? Does it have any kind of gravity to hold things down?
No. It's just a basic regular asteroid that's just
because they keep moving, right?
Yeah, and I mean, again, asteroids just pass by Earth all the time. Heck, in 2013, there was a pretty big asteroid that probably would have been potentially a planet killer, if it was on a direct path toward Earth. But an advanced fragment must have broke off from it and exploded over that Russian town.
Are you saying people were considering mining that asteroid?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing that we have. That's the next best step. Is, again, you have any idea? No matter how much stuff we've mined out of the Earth here on our planet, there is infinitely more industrial-rich resources that can be exploited within an asteroid. Titanium, palladium, gold.
So you're going to have robots do this, and how are you going to get them there, and how are they going to stick to the asteroid?
Yeah, what's the expense versus
I mean, you can't put a person on it to do it because the asteroid's still moving, and there it goes, and there goes the person, and then how do you get everything back to Earth?
Yeah, that is a mass. That also. Yeah. I mean, those are a lot of massive engineering challenges, but
that didn't stop me from having a dream where I was doing exactly that, mining on an asteroid.
Yeah, and I mean, I think in one of my stories, yeah, in the world of this world I created, yeah, space mining is kind of a thing in their world. I mean, there's one giant asteroid that's been tugged into Earth's orbit and it's stabilized. And I think they managed to land the International Space Station and built a brand new station around it to mine it. And they take the resources back to Earth.
Of course, of course, what was I mining? It was gold, of course.
Yeah, and gold is a major component for like a lot of for semiconductors and whatnot.
I've even had I had a dream where I was piloting the lunar lander and landed it on the moon.
Yeah, and that's another thing though. Yeah, we could also mine a lot of stuff from the moon too. Heck, I think in some stories some people have said that there's possibly troves of helium-3 on the moon, on the lunar surface, which we could use for Starship fuel.
Well, yeah, the thing,
and also if we figure out fusion, helium-3 is supposed to be really great for that if that ever happens.
My dad says we might be another few years out to perfecting fusion. We might be.
Well, the thing is, even if those elements aren't on the moon, I've never understood why there's not like hotels and small community structures on the moon like years ago. Because I mean, love it or hate it, I'm sure if a hotel chain put a high class hotel up on the moon, I'm sure people would pay money to go up there, right?
I would. I definitely would. And heck, it would be amazing to see what a lunar eclipse is like from the surface of the moon.
Exactly. It's like, I was a kid. I was a kid. I watched the moon landing when it happened, right, for the first time in 1969. I vividly remember that night, because I looked up at the moon and the radio was playing and the announcer said, "This is the first night when humans have walked on another planetary body," or whatever he phrased it, right? And I was like, oh my God, we have people on the moon. It was like mind-boggling, right? And of course, 1969, I thought, oh, well, they'll have hotels up there in 20 years, right?
Yeah, that didn't happen. And some people crazily believe the moon landing didn't happen.
Well,
we don't know. Well, we don't really know, but it actually is up there.
I know Stanley Kubrick was a damn good director, and that's the guy they say faked the moon landing.
That's
right?
so crazy.
but I remember it, and I'm pretty sure it actually happened. So
yeah, I was there.
I just can't believe there's no hotels on the moon years ago.
Yeah, I want a Clavius moon base just like it's depicted in 2001: A Space Odyssey.
I would be happy to see a Habitat Dome City on the moon.
There you go.
I would be happy to see any human colony on the moon. That would have been awesome.
PvP, how late did you stay up watching the moon landing?
I can't remember. You know why I distinctly remember though is my mama, my lovely mother, rest her soul, worked at Canada Safeway for many, many years, and this was 1969. I remember that was the first year she got the job. Right, she hadn't been working that many months, and this is what, July 69, I believe, when the moon landing.
Yeah, July 20th.
Yeah,
when they landed. Yeah.
So every night, my dad and I would get in his old pickup truck and we'd go to pick Mom up at 9 p.m. because that's when her shift ended, right? Because
okay,
that's what you do.
Then what happened?
And if I could finish my thought,
please get there.
Yeah. Well, I will get there if I'm not interrupted, Tiger. Thank you. Anyway, I'll never forget driving up at 9 p.m. on a July night, and the moon. It was like the moon was just glowing like this orb in space, right? And as we were heading, since it was 9 p.m., the radio comes on every hour, right? And the announcer, of course, the first story is, "Men have landed on the moon, blah, blah, blah." And, he went on. And I'm looking up at this orb in the sky, and I'm thinking, the lunar lander is up there right now. There are two human beings sitting in the lunar lander on the moon's surface. This is the first time in human history that human beings have touched another body in space. And I tell you, when you're like 11 years old, that blows your freaking mind, I gotta say. So I just wanted to finish. That's pretty much all I have to say. But it was an amazing thing to live through, and I still want to see human beings colonize the moon. I really do.
Yeah,
Because
same here. Same here. Yeah, I stayed up. That was the latest I stayed up. Well,
Yeah.
of course, that's the latest my parents let me stay up. We were all still watching, the surface of the moon at 2 in the morning. It's
Oh,
like-
why not? Like
Yeah.
That is
it was-
amazing. You guys had
Yeah.
those stories that
Well,
you
it's-
shared them, that you
it's a
actually lived through
story.
it. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's an historic thing. You to be a witness to history is a rare thing, I think. Like the big events, right?
Yeah.
And that was a huge event. And gosh, Stone Rocket. I had another thought, but
Did you have another thought?
yeah, I did. I have many thoughts actually, Tiger.
Yeah,
Stripes.
I know because you tell us every one. Yeah,
No, I
mean,
don't.
I
No,
saw
I
the
do
moon
not.
landing.
No, I do not.
And
No,
it
I
was
do
pretty
not.
remarkable. I'm very happy to see Buzz Aldrin in a recent commercial, I think for some sort of communication carrier, but it's nice to see
Oh,
him.
cool.
Oh.
He was at a Worldcon. I was working at the time. I wish I hadn't been. He did a panel. I should have just walked out of where I was working and gone to see him. But my beau at the time asked him a question, and it's because they were taking questions and answers, and he said, "Do you have a moon rock?" And apparently Buzz Aldrin does not have a moon rock, and he's really PO'd about it. So I got to hear that story from my
Oh,
beau.
man.
He was very proud of
Man.
himself for asking a good question. Yeah.
Yeah, they had this touring series of trailer truck type setup with the Apollo capsule and the suits that Buzz and Neil wore, and they had some moon rock samples, and you would get in the one end of the trailer truck, and there was this moving conveyor belt type sidewalk thing, and you'd go from one trailer to the next on this conveyor belt like thing, and I got to see all of the actual the capsule, like I said, and the space suits and lunar samples and stuff. That's the closest I've.
That's super cool. I think it's
Yeah.
pretty hilarious that they put you on a moving belt so that everybody would keep moving because they knew
Oh,
that
yeah.
people were going to want to pause.
You betcha.
Were you able to kind of leave the trailer, then go back and go in it again?
I was me and two of my brothers did that, but
That's
it was a really hot day, and it was at the Merle Hay Mall, in the Merle Hay Mall parking lot. And while we were waiting in line before the thing opened, there was a woman in the line that actually fainted from heat exhaustion,
Ooh.
and they had to call an ambulance. But yeah, we ran in there again, and our father let us do that. But the conveyor belt moved at a rate that you could actually enjoy each of the exhibits.
Oh, that's nice. That's very nice.
But, yeah, that was really cool. But yeah, I'm glad that you were able to witness that Tiger Stripes as well.
Yes, sadly, I can remember by the time, how many times did they go up? Like in like a couple of years, they went up once a year, didn't they?
They went
For
up
like
a
the first
couple
3
times.
years.
Yeah, they went up a couple times. The next mission was in December of '69,
Well, you have such a good memory.
and Apollo 17 was that was the one that they launched at night, which was incredible. I wish I had been in Florida to see that, because that would have been the most spectacular launch, was Apollo 17.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm trying. My buddy in Ames, he would be able to tell you everything you needed to know about each of the Apollo missions because he was an expert.
That's cool. Yeah, I went out to the high desert and watched one of the space shuttles land once.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I only did it the once, and I'm glad I did it. I really am glad I did it. It was kind of an
Yeah.
all-night thing, and there was quite the, culture that all these people, and most people had a trailer with them. They were, they were full out camping, and
Oh, cool.
and there was a whole vendors with tents.
Oh,
and people
excellent.
selling food. That was a whole scene. It was really
that was Edwards Edwards Air Force Base, that area.
in
no,
California.
It was in California, but it was kind of far north. So I was in LA, and it was a couple hours drive up. So it was in the high desert, I think, where it's really flat.
Yeah,
It was really remarkable. The sonic it booms twice. The sonic booms twice. Yeah, it's there's a scientific explanation for it. Like once when it enters the atmosphere, and then once again when it enters the next layer, and you hear both of them.
Oh,
which is
cool.
kind of remarkable. Yeah. It was something.
Do you have any pictures from that?
I don't. I didn't.
Crap.
This was before the era when everybody had a camera on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, all I have are mental pictures.
Yeah, I wish we had. My dad had taken his camera when we went to see that exhibit.
Yeah.
But that
was the time of those one-use cameras too.
Yeah.
Oh
But
yeah.
That was such a hot day waiting for. But my mom made sure we all were replenished with nice cool water. So
you need to bring at least 5 gallons of water if you're out in the desert.
yeah, it's just
about 10 gallons if you're out in Death Valley.
yeah. But I'm so glad that no one in my family was having any difficulties with. But boy, that was a hot day. But it was worth the wait to get to see all that from the Apollo 11 mission.
Yeah, hydration is very important.
Oh yeah.
I
want to make sure to say hello to Miss Martin Muses. I just got back. I stepped away for a
she's
little
saying
longer
hi
than
and
normal.
she's
As soon
giving
as I
us
appeared,
rose.
my children wanted snacks, and so I had
There you go. And Miss Martin Muse waves and gives you a rose, Jill.
Thank you. Oh, she's always handing out roses.
That's sweet.
I really wish I could have seen one of those Saturn V rocket launches.
Oh, that would have been incredible.
I mean, those things are amazing. Every time I see a video of a Saturn V launch, it's like, I can't, it's like, wow. I mean, talking about the achievements that humanity is capable of when they put their heads together and actually get it right, it's like, oh, those are such beautiful spacecraft too. I mean, I just love seeing the Saturn V launch. It's a thing of beauty. It really is.
Yeah, my father got me the Aurora model kit, Saturn V.
Oh, that's
lucky,
cool.
lucky you.
And
yeah.
And my best friend got me. This is close to the most recent anniversary of the lunar landing. He got me the Lego Saturn V rocket set.
Oh,
and I spent New Year's
Lucky
Eve
boy.
and into New Year's Day putting that together. And I was taking pictures of kind of a step-by-step process, and I was sharing it on Twitter. And when I shared my last picture, I noticed that there was this gentleman in Britain that had just completed building the exact same Lego set as me, and so we were tagging one another on the Twitter.
Cool.
With
That's
Lego
great.
Saturn V.
Stone Racket, could you read this from Old Man Bird, please? It's
Old
about
Man,
more recent.
Old Man Bird says the probe photographs from Mars. There is barely an atmosphere, but it looks like it could have been a photograph taken on Earth. It's been discovered that even on Pluto, the sky appears blue. Oh, that's fascinating.
Again, yeah. The surface of Mars. I don't know why anyone. Why? I'm starting to think. Yeah. Do we really want to colonize Mars because there's a threat of radiation because it has a very weak magnetosphere.
But by that time, we will have force fields worked out, right? No.
Yeah, or that, or we try to terraform it.
Yeah.
But still, again, that would still blaspheme because that's a possibility that Mars's core is either very slow or it's pretty much frozen.
But the stories
get that moving again.
Yeah, all the stories from Ray Bradbury about Mars. I want us to colonize Mars for sure.
Yeah, Martian Chronicles. Yeah.
Yep.
You might actually have more luck on one of the moons of Jupiter, but Franco Walker's
Oh,
got to
yeah.
take care of everyone.
I still
And
I still think colonizing Jupiter's moons is even more dangerous because the Van Allen belt around our planet is dangerous, but can you believe all the belts of radiation that are around Jupiter? It has the strongest magnetosphere in the entire solar system. We'd all probably look like all the people from Total Recall. We'd all be looking like them.
Well, if we
We're
have,
dead.
if we all have powered armored spacesuits, it'd be okay, right? No.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we have protected habitation. But back to the whole thing, though. Back when I was in ninth grade, or my freshman year of high school, we had an egg drop project, and I actually won for the best design because I actually used one of the probes that uses a truncated tetrahedron and put the egg inside, and we also had to put like the little balloons that cushion the landing. And yeah, I think because I put the egg in the wrong way, it kind of like got crushed in there. The way I put it, based on probably the way I put it in.
Ouch.
That's the only reason how. But still, yeah, our teacher took all of our egg drop projects. Most people just use some kid. He just used a big Tupperware thing and put like a used toilet paper roll and a whole bunch of rubber bands, and somehow that survived. And the egg survived in that.
That's kind of cheating, though, if you use Tupperware.
It is.
At least in my opinion.
It's what's available.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
The idea had me, but I mean, my egg drop project, my dad helped me put it together. But yeah, it's just like, again, hexagons and triangles, and it was made of cut into cardboard and spray painted black with red balloons. And yeah, we just dropped it, and yeah, it just cushioned real easy. It cushioned the impact, just like how it did.
That was the objective, so you did it.
Tiger Stripes.
Saved your egg.
Tiger Stripes. I wouldn't have used Tupperware, but I might have used a Cool Whip container.
Well, your mom wouldn't let you use the good Tupperware.
That's right.
Canadian Spider-Man says egg drop soup is so darn good. I think
Okay, now I want egg drop soup.
Yeah, it's good, but
again, that thing I was eating some fried rice earlier.
Oh, cool.
Nom nom.
Nom.
And Sentai Ranger Johnny, he says, I love the original Total Recall a little more than its remake. I forgot they even remade that.
It's pretty bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
I did not care for the original, so count me out on both. I'm not going to watch the remake because I did not like the original.
Yeah.
But I understand people like it. If you want to like it, you can like it.
Oh, of course, I do like it.
Yes.
I like it very much.
Yeah, it's okay. It's not in my collection, though.
Pass.
Yeah, it's not in my collection.
It's a lot of fun. Canadian Spider-Man says Mars would be cool to live in for a month. Jill sent me a Mars Attacks action set as a gift because she's generous and also rocks. The Casbah.
The Casbah.
Oh, that movie is so. It reflects the original trading cards.
Yeah,
that's the most amazing thing about it.
Yeah, my younger brother treated me to that movie when I was up over the holidays in our hometown, and he ended up giving me for a Christmas present one of those Martian action figures.
Oh boy.
I still got it.
Yeah, but I know.
Oh no, they're remarkable. The design. The design
yeah.
Of them. It's just like the trading cards. Just
you got it.
And Sentai Ranger Donnie, I found your DeviantArt page. I went and followed you. And
oh yes, he makes some great art.
Yeah, and another thing though, back to what he said earlier about with the Power Ranger character being an android, Mac, the Red Overdrive Ranger. That was honestly that was a truly good twist about the show. That largely was kind of bad. Yeah, it was mainly bad, but yeah, Mac being an android was kind of a thing. But later in a later season with Dino Fury, yeah, we have like the person for like that BuzzFeed social media place that I think a few of the Rangers work at. They actually like the editor of the place has a robotic assistant called J-Board. And oh my gosh, there is literally one scene episode that literally I'm pretty sure every person who's a furry, I'm pretty sure all the people who have those weird fetishes, I'm pretty sure Power Rangers, the creators of Power Rangers literally just made all those people happy. And I was like, oh my god, are they really going with this whole cat girl thing? Really, like, it's like weird. Yeah, the damn android girl accidentally has like cat, puts on cat ears and starts acting like a cat. It's just like, oh
I just haven't watched Power Rangers past the White Ranger, and so I don't know what's going on. So I'm glad you can communicate with Donnie about this.
Yes, I'm afraid I cannot speak to it either. I do not know Power Rangers. However,
I know
have y'all discussed the Fantastic Four trailers yet?
We haven't discussed the Fantastic Four trailers yet. That's a great idea for a topic of discussion. But before we get to it, I wanted to answer Old Man Bird, who asked me, have you visited the Houston Space Center? Multiple times. I live in Texas. Of course I have.
Yeah.
Because when I was a kid, we would go on these field trips and, oh yeah, I'm going to Houston to see the space. And then when I grew up, I took my kids. And they have a really nice playground also. And on top of being able to see all the cool space stuff.
Houston, we have a problem. It's always problem, you guys. They just call it the I over.
Actually, problems become one of those words you're not allowed to say professionally anymore. These days, you're supposed to say issue. But back in the old day, they would just say problem, which I love.
Yeah, Jill, in the playground there at Houston Space Center, do they have dinosaurs?
Oh, I don't remember. It's a big one. It's a big playground. It's good.
Houston, we have a problem. We have a main bus B undervolt.
Yep, main B bus undervolt.
Ooh.
I think that
gives me the willies just thinking about it.
That must have been the first thing that they detected on the Challenger. Oh my god, all those poor souls.
I know.
I remember watching one of those Challenger disasters live on TV. I actually watched it while it happened, and not a good memory.
That was I was in documentary film class. That's when I was in grad school, and we actually had the TV on for that, and so the whole class got to see that, and it was like, oh
wow,
you saw it live too, Stone?
Yeah,
amazing. At least you had people to share it with in the moment, though. Stone, that must have been kind of helpful.
That was a gut punch for everybody, and Dana, who was teaching that class, he dismissed the class because we were all just
classy thing to do.
We're just broken by that.
I saw it by myself on the TV because I'm a big space nut, right? And it's like anything to do with Challenger flight, I would always make a date to put the TV on, and I'm sitting there in front of my TV alone, and I'm watching this, and I'm like, oh no. Not a fun day. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I was at home. I think I was working part-time at the time. One of my roommates was present. He was, the boyfriend of another roommate in the house. And I think he worked an assembly line where they made parts for these, these ships. And it was funny because, like within half an hour, he nailed what had gone wrong.
Oh,
He's
wow.
Like, I can tell what went wrong. And he just,
wow.
I'm like, wow. Yeah, it was gave me a nice thing to grip, to handle it mentally. But yeah, I do think that I watched it live. Yeah,
that's what was interesting about For All Mankind in that alternate history. It doesn't explode because they find the problem early, and then the actual moral issue they come up with is that, do we tell Russia because they stole our designs and they're going to have the same issue? And so that's some interesting things that happen in that show if you haven't seen it.
So Jill, do they tell the Ruskies?
Well, that's a spoiler.
Yeah, it's a spoiler. Go watch it.
Jill really wants you to watch it. She won't tell you.
I know.
But I have to say that was the question on the tip of my tongue as well.
I was only a year old, so I didn't see Challenger, but the similar thing happened in 2003, which of course we all remember. Also, the Columbia.
Yeah, the Columbia.
What wasn't the problem with the heat shield got damaged during liftoff?
Yeah, for Columbia,
for Columbia, right?
Yeah, and then of course it was the O-rings on the solid rocket boosters.
That's exactly what he nailed at the time. He said it's the O-rings.
Yeah,
I can tell you what exactly, and I'm like, oh wow.
Wow.
Such a small thing would be so important.
Yeah, and also the freezing temperatures while they were waiting to lift off. All these different factors just came together, and it just terrible.
We're not the problem with the protective shield with damaged. Was that not the cause when they flamed out re-entry?
Yeah. On Columbia, you got it.
And you know what makes me so sad is like, why didn't they just delay the re-entry and try to figure out a way to send up a rescue mission or something? Because they could have stayed up there for a while, I would think, right?
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that. That's a good question. I wish,
Like I've always wondered, like maybe they had limited oxygen or limited food or limited something, but you know what I would have wished back then, that NASA would have had a backup rescue plan in place.
Yeah, have it a separate shuttle or craft that
just
for a rescue mission and that would have been great. And of course the first thing I think of is that's what they did in the movie well, now I'm having a senior moment. Doggone it.
I forgive you. I've had a few of those. No, but
when that happens, when I try to talk about a movie or an actor or actress, and it's just I go blank.
Well, you know the thing that bothers me
Marooned.
is
the movie Marooned from '69.
Oh, I remember that movie.
Yeah. Remember they had a rescue mission. David Jansen went up to rescue the astronaut.
I love David Jansen. He's such a good actor. But it's like I remember the news media that week when the shuttle was up there, and there was concerns about the heat shield damage, right?
Right.
And I remember some of the major TV networks back then talking about this stuff, and it's like I'm thinking, well, why don't you, NASA? Why don't you just delay this reentry for a couple of weeks and try and figure out launch another shuttle and rescue them, like a shuttle that's not damaged.
Yeah.
And of course, NASA wanting to save face, it's like, oh, we can't admit there's a problem. We're just going to bring them home. And then we all know what happened.
That was a mistake.
That
was a terrible mistake.
Yeah.
And those poor astronauts paid for NASA's hubris. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's unfortunate. But the space shuttle program's gone now, and we've got different private industries.
Yeah, which are the people that are going to actually take over the space exploration industry. Heck, we've seen it in science fiction.
We have. That's another big plot point in For All Mankind. But I think Tiger Stripes is itching to talk about Fantastic Four, and I think this is a good moment.
Well, I thought it's kind of all the buzz, this week on all of the big channels. So I thought, well, we can buzz with them as well. I don't think I've even seen all of them, and they're just teaser trailers at this point. But I saw at least 3 that looked different to me, and I'm unclear on which ones are official. And I mean, you can't just make something out of nothing. I don't think that they're AI generated. I think most of them are real. But there's definitely one official one.
That is something you have to watch out for.
If you look, if it's from KH Studio, it's fake. If it's from Marvel Entertainment, it's probably real. It's officially from.
Sometimes they have the official trailer for North America, and then sometimes they'll have an international trailer, which is still legit, but it has different scenes, edited a little different. It may be something like that. I haven't really looked into it.
Oh, I liked it very much. It looks promising, and I kind of was terrified because I was afraid it would fall under the Fantastic Four curse, which is that all the movies just have to be terrible. But,
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what you're saying, but the one that came out in 2005, I absolutely loved it. But then again,
I think I saw that one in the theater. So who was the star in that?
Leanne Garoppolo.
Isn't that the one with the disco scene where Mr. Fantastic?
That was the second movie, Rise of Silver Surfer. Everyone keeps thinking it's the first one. No, it's the second one.
Yeah.
But again, I think the person who played Ben Grimm is the Thing. I think he personally nailed it. I mean, and again, they did it all practical. They did it practically.
Yeah.
And
And
Michael Chiklis was a big fan of the character.
As bad as the Fantastic Four movies are, all the things are great. Everybody who ever plays Ben Grimm does a wonderful job. It's kind of hilarious.
Well, again, we also got Chris Evans as Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, and he went on to become Captain America.
That's right.
I thought he was good too, but I just thought the movie was sort of lackluster. I don't really remember much about it other than the leads, and particularly Chris Evans, because I'm a sucker for blondes.
And not to say I know Jessica Alba, that could have potentially have been a bit of a miscast with her, but I
thought
know.
She was okay, but nothing about it thrilled me. I don't find it memorable. This one looks like it could be good.
Yeah, because it's set in the 60s, and it has that 60s futuristic comic book kind of vibe.
Atomic
I like that.
retro design.
Yeah, atomic. Yeah, that's a good way to describe it.
Beautiful.
And the fantastic car.
Oh, it all looks great.
You're saying it has the 60s Stan Lee stamp on it, kind of.
Well, Jack Kirby
or 60s Xanadu kind of feel.
Yeah, somebody, not me, said they were really impressed with the way the Thing looks like at the Kirby illustration.
Okay, well, if you're going back to the origin, back early days, it could be really good then.
It could be.
It could be. Well, yeah.
Hey, Jill, you got
trying to actually respect the source material.
I was going to ask Jill to show a trailer, but I don't want to jeopardize her channels.
I got
no, people can see the trailer on their own.
I got two cats on my lap now. Oh dear.
I can find an article if you like.
Jeez, how big is your lap there, Stone Racket?
not quite big enough. Oh, Harpo just jumped down.
That's why. Oh, okay. Well, you're.
Now it's just Chico, but yeah, the trailer. I'm glad that they're setting the Fantastic Four in the 60s and capturing that the Jack Kirby kind of vibe. So I'm pleased to see that, and their uniforms are very, very retro, original comic book kind of look.
Cool.
I love the actor who's playing him too, Eben Moss-Backrack. He's wonderful. He's in The Bear. He's got a strong supporting character in the role in The Bear, and he's wonderful in that. So I think he'll be good in this.
They got the look. They got the look of the Thing down for sure.
Yeah, he's very comic book accurate.
He looks great.
Yeah, he does look good.
And then we get a glimpse of Galactus, and it looks like Galactus.
It's
it
quite
looks
chilling.
like Galactus.
Not
a cloud like in the Rise of the Silver Surfer. Yeah, Galactus was just a cloud in the Rise of the Silver Surfer movie.
Cloud?
Yeah. Believe it or not.
People pointed out in some comments that I read that this Silver Surfer, it's possible, and one hopes, that it's actually the Silver Surfer's wife, who was a character in the comics, and that they haven't just feminized the character. So we're holding our breath on that.
Yeah, that's a good point. I hope that's what the situation is.
It looks like it's going to be that way.
Well, that's the only point that I'm holding my breath on that. Come on, please, people.
Yeah, exactly.
I've read a total of 2 of Fantastic Four comics. The first one, and then a very recent one for Raymond for a review on King Dolphin TV's channel, so I'm not a comic book person. Although
Yeah,
one day I would like to be, but
Yeah,
I just haven't.
I collected Fantastic Four and Iron Man and Spider-Man back in the 60s. It was great.
Jill, you don't actually have the physical comic book copy of the first Fantastic Four.
No, I read it online.
Thank goodness, because I was going to say, if you got the first issue of Fantastic Four, it's probably worth $1 million by now.
I wish I did.
Oh yeah, I imagine it's like mega dollars actually.
Yeah, I didn't have any early issues. It was I started collecting comics in '66, and I got this anthology. I think was in it's about 72, 73. There's this paperback anthology that had all the origin stories of the major superheroes from Marvel, and that's where I first read it.
Nice.
So Pedro Pascal is going to be Reed Richards. And he's got a
Yeah, a
mustache.
critical drinker said, "Man, when are they going to find another actor? Because it's not that he's not good, but
Yeah.
come on, there's got to be another
And I'm
actor
pretty sure
out there."
Pedro Pascal is a little creepy, especially when he's a little touchy feely. And he claims that I get anxious if I don't touch somebody. It's just
That's strange.
This man is a weirdo.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, there's a thing.
I haven't heard that either, but I don't doubt it.
Didn't they have Reed Richards in the Deadpool Wolverine movie recently?
That's what I thought. No, apparently it was
No,
Johnny Storm. I made that.
Yeah, it
mistake.
was, and that was funny. That was so funny. Especially the end credit scene where you would think he wouldn't have he didn't say any of that, but he actually did.
Oh, this is why I always stay for the end credits now, because they're always throwing that shit in, right?
Yeah, unfortunately
And that was hilarious. I gotta say, Jessica.
Oh yeah. Okay, so he was there, but then the end credits, you have to wait.
No, he
There you
wasn't.
go.
No, he was in the movie. Everyone at first thought he was Captain America. It's like, all right. Oh, he's got to play boy. I was like,
yeah. I love the way they confused us audience members for like a second there, right? Like,
yeah.
And then we're like, oh no, that's not him. That's the other guy. Invisible Woman. Okay.
Yeah, Sue Storm will be played by Vanessa Kirby. I don't know who.
Yeah, she does look pretty accurate. She does look pretty accurate to Sue Storm.
Yeah, I like the way she looks. She looks
Okay,
like a woman. She doesn't look like a girl. She looks like a woman.
And she's actually attractive, so she's not woke.
It's not about her being attractive. She looks like
Yeah,
a woman.
and again,
she
no,
doesn't look like a little girl.
I'm just saying, if it was a woke movie, they'd have to make her really, really ugly, because that's what they like to do now.
Yeah, and Fan Force. I think they used for her. I think they used a wig. They used a clear wig.
So is Johnny
Hello
Storm...
to. I want to say hello to Real Wade Nation Gaming here in the chat. Hey, how's it going? Oh, Johnny Storm is going to be played by Joseph Quinn, also someone I don't know.
Oh, Joseph Quinn played Eddie Munson in season 4 of Stranger Things.
Oh,
and he was wonderful in that. Wonderful.
I wouldn't know who that is because again, it's just I never watched Stranger Things.
Mm-hmm. Well, in order to watch it, you do have to pay for Netflix. Although you might be able to rent it at the library for all I know these days. I don't know if they've released that on DVD or not. They keep a pretty close rein on some of those proprietary series, but it is wonderful. I think you would enjoy it.
No, what I got from at least from the movie, at least like what I'm getting from Stranger Things is that there's some misplaced nostalgia for both the 80s and the 90s in those.
Why is it misplaced? Because you're too young to remember them?
No. Again, no. The actors themselves, again, don't know anything. Probably don't know that. I mean, I grew up in the 90s and the early 2000s. And I know that was my time. But again, it's just like everyone is like having some weird nostalgia. The only way you could ever have any like true nostalgia for it is if you either grew up during the 80s or you introduce your kids to stuff you grew up watching in the 80s. That's what it was like with me and my dad. My dad showed me a lot of stuff he grew up watching in the 80s, and I actually have some love for
Then
it.
you and your dad might enjoy watching Stranger Things. It might give your dad a buzz in a nostalgic sense. Anyway, I really enjoy it, and Joseph Quinn was wonderful as that character in season 4. He was fantastic.
So Herbie and not Ramona, the android who is the android assistant of the Fantastic Four.
I think I remember her. Boy, you really know your Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, because in the 2005 movies with Chris Evans in it, yeah, I think Ramona was a hologram instead and not a robot.
Well, I think this looks like a marketing opportunity. I mean, that looks like a toy.
Yeah,
and
sure it does.
I want one. You know, I don't even have to know anything about him. Yeah, he's just so adorable.
And so I'd like to say hello to Maddie's daddy, Steve Mitchum. I've heard some strange things about Pedro
Well, unless
Pascal.
you've heard something concrete, don't just pass along false rumors.
Well, it's strange. But also he's probably trying to be a gentleman and be polite, and maybe the things he's heard are not. I don't know. I don't know what he's heard. Anyway.
I heard Wookiee.
Yeah, he said, "You speak terrible Jawa. You sound like a Wookiee."
He does kind of have a Jawa-shaped head, doesn't he? You put a little cloak on him, you couldn't tell.
Sort of.
Yeah, that's right.
So this is so Jet Sparks. This isn't from the comics. It's a invention by this movie, and if it is, it's a pretty good one.
Yeah, it must be an invention. I know. Yeah, again, he figured that I figured the Fantastic Four were coming when after like Spider-Man Far From Home, where again Tony sold Avengers Tower, and you would think that he sold it to Reed Richards and it became the Baxter Building.
Speaking of which, this is what they made for the Baxter Building. And then the car that you guys were talking about before.
Yes, that's cool. That's the look of the Fantastic.
Look at it.
That's the look of the Fantastic car. But I think again in Rise of the Silver Surfer, it looked good in Rise of the Silver Surfer. I mean, at least it actually flew. It actually can fly, because that's what it was. It was supposed to be like a hover car. Maybe it is a hover car, but the question is, how is everyone supposed to fit in that thing? It looks like a coupe.
Oh yeah, how do you fit the thing in that? It's true. That's a good point.
Yeah, because I think in that one it's I think like in the 2007 Rise of Silver Surfer sequel, yeah, it was the Fantastic Car is based off a Hemi, I think.
I just looked up Herbie. He first appeared in the Fantastic Four comics in '79, but it originated in the cartoon series.
Oh, cool. That's nice.
Yeah.
So they really know their stuff. They're working in all of the references. That's a good sign.
But we also know, again, I don't think we have seen any official art of Robert Downey Jr. or official photos of Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom in the Fantastic Four movie. But again, I don't see why why did they even have to get him back for that? It just makes no sense. But I guess he's just desperate. He's just desperate for a big old fat stack of Marvel cash.
Well, they're holding back on it. They're trying to save something for a surprise.
Something to get people in the theater. That makes sense.
Yeah. But again, I think Julian McMahon, I think he did an okay job. And again, he's the guy who was on that show, Nip Tuck, I think. Same thing with Michael Chiklis. They were both those actors were both on FX shows back in the early 2000s.
Right.
And of course, Julian McMahon played Victor Von Doom. I mean, he really conveyed the menace of the character. The only thing that was a good criticism I made about him is that he didn't have the Latvian accent that he had. I mean, sure, the castle is referenced in the second movie, and at the end of the first movie, he was basically like He was melted inside. It was melted inside of his body, which was now slowly turning into metal. Was melted in the helmet mask was fused to him, was fused to his face. And then like, you know, the Silver Surfer brought him back to life, and of course, like, he goes out looking for him, and then it somehow his cosmic energy blasted him and it revitalized him back to normal, which was just a Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah, I just hopefully they get Doom right in this movie. That's all we ask, please.
Yes, yeah, but aesthetically, he looked right with the mask and the dark green cloak. At least aesthetically he matched, and maybe again showing the menace of being a villain, but save for you know, having the accent. But I think he did an all right job as Dr. Doom. Julian McMahon did.
There were some really nice lines in this trailer. Not all of them were golden, but there's a point where Reed Richards says to Sue, "Everything was so much better before the four of us all went up and down, and now Ben's a rock and Johnny's on fire." And she says really softly, "Ben was always a rock." And I thought that was a really nice line. It's just so sweet.
I wonder if they're going to have his. It's probably too soon, but Ben Grimm's blind girlfriend.
Alicia.
Yeah.
I mentioned her
Alicia
in the variety thing that Jill just had up.
What was that now?
Yes, they did.
There's
they did
speculation.
mention
There's a
that-
particular.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I stepped away for a few
There's
minutes.
speculation that a particular actress is playing her in the text there, but we weren't really reading it word for word, but it was in there.
Curiouser and curiouser. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
No, I think it sounds very promising. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she was played by Kerry Washington in the 2005 version. Yeah, so
yeah,
Alicia was in that movie too. She was in both of them, but
The
she didn't have
article
too much.
says-
She didn't have too much of a presence in either film.
The article says that she will be played by Natasha Lyonne.
Well, they're speculating that Natasha Lyonne is playing her.
Yeah, it's a speculation. Yeah, it's not concrete.
They're leaving
because
some
it wasn't
things
in the
unsaid.
It wasn't in the
Yeah,
trailer, but it
wasn't in
looks
the
like it's
trailer.
possible she's there.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, we hope so.
usually all of this stuff's on IMDb. All you have to go is look for the cast list. But I think I want to be surprised. I think I'll just
There you
wait.
go.
Oh, Natasha, she's from Orange is the New Black. Okay, I know her.
Yeah, I think she had the lead role in a series on Peacock. Gosh, what's the name of that series? Because it was excellent. Really, really good. I'll think of it. I think I'll just go look it up. Yeah, that's her. Yeah, she's fun. I wish I could remember the name of her series because I can't recommend it highly enough. It's a kind of a cross between a detective show and The Fugitive, and it's also weirdly funny often. And because it's a mystery, there's always a murder, so you have to prepare yourself for that. But because that's what mysteries are, they're murder shows. But she was really good in it.
Yeah.
She just what you showed there, Jill. I'm thinking about Johnny Storm's girlfriend from the comics, whose name escapes me. I think it's Crystal. I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but yeah, again, I think there's always like many women that he talked to, and when Chris Evans played him, yeah, there was like plenty of attractive women he was around, but I'm not sure if one of them was consistent. I think he did, like, again, he wooed that nurse when he first went Flame On. I think she might have made another appearance. I don't even know, because both that nurse and the chick she was with, like when they were about to have the wedding or something, I think they look so similar or whatever. I couldn't even tell. All those attractive women he was around sort of tended to all blend together.
Yeah, I have fond memories of seeing the first film because I took my nephew to see it, and it was just a good audience. They were all having fun. My nephew was too, so it was kind of contagious.
Oh my God, you're hot!
Oh, yeah.
I think so are you?
Natasha Lyonne's, the name of Natasha Lyonne's series is Poker Face, and I really enjoyed it. I can recommend it.
Oh, really?
If you like a mystery.
Anything to do with
it was very good.
Lady Gaga song?
Well, I mean, because of the connection, they might have used it in the first episode, but I don't think so. No, it's actually, it's something. Well, that's okay. So if it helps you to watch the show, that's one of the things that they established pretty early in the show, is that she has this ability to read through people's poker faces. She can just kind of look at somebody and know what they're thinking. She can read a person like nobody else can.
Oh, nice.
And
that's why she's good as somebody who can kind of figure out a mystery, because
solves crimes, eh?
she's good on picking up clues. Well, I told you there's the fugitive aspect of the show, which makes it even more interesting. Yes, so it's really worth watching. It's fun. It's it's all of this stuff wrapped up into one, and she herself is very likable. A really likable actress. She's fun.
That always helps, eh?
Yeah, I definitely agree with her being fun for sure. Anyhow, let's see. We're coming up.
Probably
you're
something like that. She's got a
Tiger Stripes
New York borough accent.
Is Tiger Stripes roboting for anyone else, or was it just me?
Yeah, I heard it a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that.
About 20 minutes ago.
No, just now. But you sound good now. It's just probably internet.
Yeah, I know, but I hear myself fine, of course. But I'm saying, like,
yeah, there you did it again.
We're talking, and it was the real.
Oh. Well, yeah, you did. Yeah, you roboted again. Unfortunately, because we do want to hear what you have to say. Old Man Bird says that Poker Face Gaga video is fire. Yeah, sorry I distracted from the actual TV show. I haven't seen it, so I tried to grab it, whatever I didn't know.
Oh, that's all right. I think most Gaga videos are pretty and I mean, that's sort of what she does.
Yeah, I actually thought in the early days of her career, she was kind of outrageous, personally.
Well, that was the point of her, but she also plays the piano, so she's an actual artist.
Yeah, at least that's the beginning. But yeah, just like trying to pull off the weird diva look is just ironically weird. But again, just like everything else with the Grammys, again, she was doing some obvious pandering and whatnot. So
unfortunate. Well, that's a bit of a thing that they do. It's popular to do it, and most people do it, and it's the ones who stay true to themselves that get ostracized.
People's hair's on fire right now because they feel like they're being threatened, and it's like, come on, take a deep breath. Nobody's threatening you.
Who's being threatened by what? So, oh, well, I guess they basically
it's all political. I know you don't want to talk politics.
They all act. Well, anybody who acts like a victim is instantly.
Don't take them seriously. Just let them babble and probably sputter around the ground like the toddler. They know they are deep down. That's what I say.
Yeah, right. It gets very boring when instantly everybody says that whole groups of people are certain ways, and that's prejudice. So just don't do that. And the woke ideology adheres to that quite fixedly. So I get really bored when that happens. But Donnie says, "Well, time for my lunch. Thank you all. See some of you again soon. For others, have a great weekend and enjoy Boomger." Finale.
Boom Bong. Yeah, it's called Boom Bonger. Boom Boomer. I don't know. It's a Super Sentai show. The thing that Power Rangers comes from in Japan.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, I know.
And then he says,
Donnie's rooting for the Chiefs.
He is. Oh, I don't know.
I could care less about.
Oh, we have all our snacks in place.
I don't really care about.
So I do watch.
Exactly. Tiger Stripes snacks is the only like if I were invited to a Super Bowl party, I would only go for the snacks.
And pizza and pop and watch the commercials.
And the halftimes usually you can learn a lot from the halftime too.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, maybe. But
So,
can I have a separate TV in another room watching the Puppy Bowl for the whenever the actual football's
Well,
happening?
if you watch the Puppy Bowl, you're gonna miss the halftime.
Okay, probably.
so Tiger,
I,
you
you
got
can
to.
I learn a lot culturally often from the halftime. I learn things
By the
I
way,
never knew before.
by the way, who's performing the halftime show for this year?
It's Kendrick Lamar's the headliner, but that means there'll be a whole bunch of other people supporting him as well, because that's usually what they do. But it's
just like
Kendrick
with
Lamar.
just like with Dre, and he got supported by all the rappers.
Or Rihanna. They bring in a lot of other people. That's
but
think
again,
it makes sense in a way. Yes.
One thing
maybe.
but again, the greatest missed opportunity was them playing "Sweet Victory" at one of the Super Bowls after around the time like Steven Hillenburg, the creator of SpongeBob, passed away. That was the perfect opportunity as a tribute to not only him as an actor, but that was just perfect and a great reference to the show. That you have the original people who did "Sweet Victory," and have them sing the song. That would have been so much fun. That would have been perfect, but massively missed opportunity. There.
My son would have loved that if that happened. He's a massive fan of that cartoon.
Yeah, again, that is on. Again, Band Geeks is literally the best episode of SpongeBob ever, at least of early SpongeBob before the movie.
What?
After that,
I'm sorry, Jet Sparks. No, wait, stop. What's the episode called?
Band Geeks.
Band Geeks. Okay, I'll have to go look for that. Band Geeks. Thank you.
Yeah, everybody learns how to play an instrument.
Yeah.
Something. Is mayonnaise an
good.
instrument?
Is mayonnaise an instrument? No, Patrick, mayonnaise is not an instrument. Horseradish is not an instrument either. Whoever was the owner of the white sedan, you left your lights on. Yeah, yes. Yeah, you really do not want to mess with Sandy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Sandy's cool. She's from Texas, and she likes Pantera.
Oh, yes. Pre-Harbor Nation Week is also another great episode.
And well, anyway, for anybody who doesn't watch SpongeBob, Sandy is a squirrel who lives in a dome with a space outfit, with a spacesuit.
That sounds pretty cool to me.
That's my favorite part of SpongeBob, honestly. I watched a few seasons because my little brother and my little sister would watch it, and so I saw some of it.
Yeah,
I've only watched it very little,
yes.
but I could see watching a lot more. It looks very well produced and funny and very cleverly written. It's all the things.
Yeah, for a few seasons.
Yeah, after the movie, it just like started going downhill.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. But speaking of, I think we've well, I'm not saying this is downhill, but I need to go. My daughter has a birthday party to go to on a Friday, so I've got to get ready for that.
Oh, wow. That sounds exciting.
Yeah, it'll be exciting for her. It'll be lots of fun. So we're gonna play some games and have some pizza and cake, and I don't know.
That sounds awesome.
Mm-hmm. And so I've got to wrap this up. So I'd like everybody to tell me what they're up to on the internet and anything they want to share before we go. Starting with Pleasant Valley Picker CA. He's here. Oh, maybe he's not here. Then let's start with Jet Sparks.
Oh, okay. Well, again, you know me as JetSparks373. I think Suzanne wanted my all my credentials. I have a link tree, and I'm pretty much on most social media platforms. So, but mostly, again, I'm sticking to YouTube, and again, I am also I'm somewhat active on Twitter. I still kind of refuse to call it X, but again, just go back and watch through my channel, and again, also subscribe to a few people I know. One of them is Bear64. Another one is Killzone772, and again, they are they are the most amazing dudes I know, and I will have, and I just like. I could never like see myself doing anything gaming wise without them, because those two are just the best, and they also have their own YouTube channels, and they deserve a follow from anybody out there. So give them some engagement. Like, again, you'll see me on Bear64's subpar arena. It's we either play Smash Bros. And I think recently he did a video on his channel that actually was in celebration of the night before my birthday. So Go check that out. Where we play Mario Party Superstar. So go check him out.
Mario Party. Gosh, those are so fun. You've got to, if you want to share their links in the private chat, I'll put them in the public chat for you, and that goes for anyone in the panel. Even if you don't have a channel and you want to promote some other your friends' channels, that is admissible here. And thank you, Jet Sparks, for the conversation. It was a lot of fun having you on today.
Thank you.
Okay, so I suppose that PvP isn't here, so we're gonna switch on to
I think he's back. I think he's back.
We're switching to you anyway, since I already started it.
You could do everybody else first, Joe.
Yeah.
Well, I'm on Twitter. I'm at Largo6583, but I go by the cat.
You go by THE cat, do you not?
Yeah, T.H.E. cat, like the TV show.
Yes.
You can.
I didn't know that was a TV show, and then I found it, and I was like, "Oh, that's a TV show."
That's a great show, Jill. You got to watch
Robert
that.
Loggia, Thomas Hewitt, Edward Cat.
Very cool show.
I'm. You can check out my old posts and crazy writing on ColumboPodcast.com. That's a discussion forum for the Columbo series. The same Scottish gentleman that ran that also have a discussion forum for their Star Trek podcast for the original series, and that's a StarTrekPodcast.com. I contributed during the first season of the series there as well under the alias Largo, the same alias I had on the Columbo discussion forum. But that's about it for my internet activity, besides appearing on your awesome channel here, Jill.
And if you definitely follow Stone Racket, if you like to just see random pictures of amazingly cute cats doing cool things, because he reposts those all the time.
Yeah, I follow a lot of cat people. Understandably, I'm a cat person, so I like sharing those. Once in a while, I'll post pictures of my own cats. But anyway, Jill, thanks again for your wonderful channel and for all these wonderful live streams. And
you're welcome.
And you'll see me again on Jill's channel when we cover the next set of Twilight Zone episodes next Tuesday.
Oh yes, and Tiger Stripes too joins us for that.
And Tiger Stripes too. Yeah,
it's a fantastic time. I enjoy, because I've always loved the Twilight Zone so much, but I know I haven't seen them all, and it's great to collect them all.
Oh yeah,
I'm so happy to do that. And thank you so much for contributing to the conversation today.
You're most welcome.
And also to you too, PvP. Do you have anything you want to promote? Any friends or anything that's coming up that you'd like to talk about?
Well, I haven't been doing too much on my own channel lately, though there's already hundreds and hundreds of hours of music, playlists, albums, videos. If you like music from the 60s, 70s, or 80s, there's probably something for you on there. Other than that, the only thing I'm kind of working on is hoping to start doing some live streams of the old 1960s Gothic soap opera with Barnabas Collins the vampire called Dark Shadows. Hoping to get that up and running sometime in February. I've been talking with Larry on Be Yourself Adventures, and he's been a great help to working out technical details with doing this live stream. So we still haven't finalized anything at this point, but yeah, if any of you are curious about watching a 1960s program with a 178-year-old vampire as the central figure and the kind of the heroic figure, which is unusual for vampires, please think about checking it out when I eventually get it running.
I really think it's kind of a charming soap opera because it feels like a stage play. It feels like I've gone to the local theater Playhouse, and I'm sitting there watching serialized plays.
Well, yeah, we did watch a few episodes, did we not, Jill?
Yeah, I watched
many moons ago, and I know you enjoyed it. And
It
yeah,
was
well,
interesting. It's
it is.
interesting.
Well, the thing is, since back in those days in the '60s, soap operas were basically live. They were live, right? If they made mistakes, the mistakes stayed in because they couldn't edit them out. I mean, it was like basically like a live stream on YouTube. It's like if you screwed it up, you screwed it up, and you lived with it, right? And which is kind of part of the charm of the show, actually, because every once in a while there will be a real screw up.
Well, it wasn't live. They just kept taping it because it was so low budget, and they were using the tape machine that they used also for the ABC News. It was a weird setup. They had, and it was in a New York studio, and it's almost like, I agree, it's almost like watching live TV because you'll see, flies land on the actor's face, or they'll screw up a line. Or
my favorite one are the people who call the show mic shadows.
Oh,
because there's often the shadow of the mic, the boom.
Oh no, the
over
boom mic,
the actor's face. Yes,
the boom
it
mic
comes in all the time.
One
of my favorite goofs was when they're going into the back crypt of where the back room crypt, I think, of Barnabas in the mausoleum, and the guy bumps his head on the doorway.
Oh, there's so many. I remember some where the some of the crew, backstage crew, would actually bump into a wall during a scene.
Yeah,
and you'd see the wall of the so-called mansion move back and forth because it's just like cardboard or whatever, right?
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. It felt like a play because it felt like whatever they were filming was what I was going to see. And when I go to a play, if they make a mistake, there's
exactly.
no take two.
There's even a time when there were workmen working on a different part of the studio, and there's a loud crash, and the actors just keep going. It's like, what the heck was that noise?
Well, that's one thing I love.
Look out for PvP about that because he's very passionate about it. One time I was playing Legend of Zelda, and all he could do was type in the chat about Dark Shadows. So he loves to talk about it. No, it's okay. It's okay. You like what you like. Anyway, I also want to thank you, PvP, for contributing to the conversation. I also want to thank Tiger Stripes for showing up, and I really appreciate seeing you today.
Yeah, no, I appreciate being here. I'm doing Jill's Lord of the Rings. We're reading through the entire book this year and taking it a chapter at a time, which I love. And then we do the Twilight Zone. Jill has a Twilight Zone series going on Tuesdays, and I try to contribute to that. I'm dancing as fast as I can. Personally, on a personal note, I watched a movie this week that I can recommend heartily called Lars and the Real Girl. It was on Freevee. It's a sort of a gentle parable. It was nothing like I thought it was going to be, and it's just a great movie, and I can recommend that. That's it.
Thank you for last minute recommendation. What was the name of it again?
Lars and the Real Girl. I will say it's not one for the kiddies, but it's not what I thought it was going to be. It is a gentle parable.
You're talking about the doll that people buy for.
Well, that is definitely the real girl aspect of the title. That's one of the title characters, yes.
Okay, but it's not. It's not.
No, it's not. It's
debaucherous.
not. It's not It's not horrible like that. It is a gentle parable, and it's pretty hilarious in places and kind of heart-wrenching, but generally good. It's worth watching. I think everybody should watch it. I really do.
Hey, okay. Thank you for that recommendation. Okay,
yes.
So
and it was on Freevee, so it was free on Freevee, and minimal commercials. No commercials. They didn't top load them, which I prefer, but minimal commercials.
I have heard about this movie, but I didn't think it was going to be good. So I'm glad.
I felt the same way, but so many people had spoken so well of it. I thought, okay, I'm going to do this, and It's really worth watching.
Oh, Daniel's Hot Topics says hello. How's it going? Oh, I'm so sorry, Daniel's Hot Topics. We're actually just wrapping up here. I just talked to everybody about everything they'd like to share. And of course, as everybody said already, I have Twilight Zones on Tuesday, Friday. We never know what I'm going to do. I might do Contact for Valentine's Day because I'm just weird like that. And so that might be next Friday. And of course, on Saturday, the day after Valentine's Day, is my 3rd year anniversary. Oh, Jet Sparks is piecing out. I get it now. See you later, Jet Sparks. I hope you have a great Friday. And it was fantastic talking to you.
So, Contact, that's about airplanes, right? Sorry.
Contact is the novel created by Carl Sagan.
You got it.
And it's basically about himself finding himself.
Jodie Foster in it, right?
Jodie Foster, yeah. And then there's a religious character, and they have a battle of wits, and it's really fun. It's really good. It's a really deep movie, and I enjoy the idea of finding extraterrestrial life in the way that we have been trying to find it with SETI, with the SETI organization. And so that's the thing, and it's fun. And I like the way that the aliens communicate, but I'll leave that for next Friday. And of course, Saturday is going to be, I'll have my Saturday night monthly shore leave on the 15th. And that'll be my 3rd year channel anniversary, which will be a fun party.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been doing this for 3 years. And
incredible.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats.
Yeah.
Also, earlier that day, Tiger Stripes and I will record for our unless of course you need to reschedule for Sunday.
No. What is it? Oh my God! It's like the what day?
Saturday. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday.
Yeah. No, I'm good. No, I have a planner. I bought a planner today, so I'm going through and I'm putting everything into the planner.
Oh, that's smart. Okay, good news.
Yes.
Yeah, I use Google Calendar, so I should have a hard copy one, but I don't. Oh, one more thing before I go. I want to make sure if you guys, I don't know if they're still live. Let me see if they're still live. Because Scotty has been on the internet already for about an hour now. Yeah, there he is. I don't know how long they're going, but if you wanted to know why Scotty R37 wasn't here, he had some business when since my show started late, it didn't match up with him. And so then he agreed to be on this other show, which is one of my new friends, Trev Retro, he's really cool. So check him out.
How do you say his name?
Trev Retro.
Trev Retro.
Yeah, okay. And they seem to like my friends, so they're good. They're great new friends here, and go check them out. They've been on for about an hour. And so if you want to know where Scotty is, there he is. Go have fun.
Trev Retro.
Go say hi to him. Anybody who's still here.
He talks about old movies and old TV shows.
Yeah, and maybe some new stuff too.
Well, it's not retro if it's new. No.
Well, but you could, since retro is in his name, you can distract him with old stuff.
His show appears to be called Fubar Friday, which is pretty hilarious.
Yes. Yeah, so go do a Jill raid over there, and they'll know what you mean.
So your Lord of the Rings live streams, you and Tiger Stripes are just discussing what you've.
Oh, we're not doing a live stream. No. Oh. Jill is editing it properly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a recording. Yeah, it's a real recording. I've been wanting to do recorded. I've been wanting to do recorded content for a while, and this is something that.
And it's the two of you discussing the novel. Is that?
Yes. Chapter by chapter. It's a chapter by chapter review, and I've been having a blast. I think it's really good for my soul. If anything else, it makes my day brighter and happier. I don't know how to put it really.
Yes. Middle Earth is my heart song. I hope that when I die someday, I get to go to Middle Earth.
Right.
Yes.
And I love the way Tolkien talks about trees. And so that's going to come up this next week. Is the chapters 5 and 6 will be released on Sunday and Thursday.
Do you have a Treebeard action figure like I do?
I should. I would love one.
Oh, and here's where I get to practice. Give me a moment of silence around. Okay, Namarie. That's it. Okay, I said that's it too quickly. One more time. Namarie.
Oh, very nice, very nice. So that's the way
working on it.
that Tolkien says the Elvish.
Yes, the hello and farewell.
And departing.
Yes.
Oh,
It basically
that's
means
awesome.
farewell. It means
Oh, in
do well.
Elvish?
Do well, be well, do well. Yes, in Elvish. In Quenya.
Oh, it's like the Qapla' of the
barely
the
know what
Lord
I'm
of the
talking
Rings
about.
version.
Yeah.
I sure like when Liv Tyler speaks Elvish.
I like when anybody speaks Elvish.
Yeah,
I've known people
it's
in my
very
life
nice.
that knew how to speak Elvish, and now I'm very sorry I didn't sit them down and just tell them, talk Elvish to me right now. I need to
It's
hear it.
really it's a real
Do that,
language.
please, for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But
It's-
anyway,
really
we're keeping you from getting away, Joe.
Yeah, that's true. I need to get
Yeah.
out of here and get to the birthday party. I have
Yeah.
an hour. I gave myself enough of a buffer time.
Yeah,
So
well,
that I
you
can-
and you and your daughter have a great time.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, we're gonna have
cake and
fun.
pizza, nothing better
Yeah.
than that.
Pizza, video
Awesome.
games. I'm gonna play games with her. It's gonna be fun.
Excellent.
And go-karts. There's go-karts.
Oh my God! Now you're talking. That's a party. I
It is.
have been on go-karts. Nothing funner than that.
And my daughter is a speed demon also. Oh, okay.
And then pizza
see you
after
later,
go-karts
baby.
and not pizza before go-karts.
We'll see what happens. I don't have to clean the go-karts. I've never had that problem though. Anyway, yes. Makes my day brighter. Yeah, all of you made my day brighter. Thank you to my panelists, Jet Sparks, PvP, Stone Racket, Tiger Stripes. Thank you for being here. And thank you. I won't get to everybody because I do have to go, but I will say thank you to a few of you in the chat who stuck out the time with me to be here at the end. And thank you to DJ Knight. Thank to Old Man Bird. And David's Hot Topics wanted to be a part of the conversation, but he got here a little late. I don't know what he's talking about. The government is hiding a lot of things. Wish Pop Culture Curator was here. I miss him so much. He knew so much about what is happening out there. Yeah, he did. He did. And I miss him too. I miss him all the time. And it is good to think about him. For you, Daniel's Hot Topics, I will end the live stream with my ending clip that I have of him about the future of Star Trek. It was from our very first live stream together. And it is my favorite thing that he's ever said. And he said it the first time I met him. And thank you also to everybody else who was here. TJ Knight is really here. I'm glad he stayed with us the entire time, so thank you for that. Also, Canadian Spider-Man and Sentai Ranger Johnny was also here, and Maddie's daddy, Railway Nation Gaming. Who else? Who else did you have? We had James Caserta. James Caserta did get here. Yeah, he made it. James Caserta made it to this show. So many great friends that I've met over the years, and it's going to be really great to see you guys on the 3rd year anniversary next Saturday. It's going to be a good party. I'm going to try to do maybe a tiered contest, but not like a contest, but more like, you know how you vote for your favorite movie. I'm gonna pick a genre and see what it'll make more sense when I make it next week. Tune in on Saturday to see what I make. And also Miss Martin Muses, Greek Letters Larson, and everybody else. Sorry if I didn't get to you. And oh yeah, BVP did say goodbye in the private chat. I just saw that. But for now, have a fantastic Friday. I'll see you next time. Thank you for being here.
learn them.
And the ways our differences combine to create meaning and beauty.
It has always been easier to destroy than to create.
May we together become greater than the sum of both of us.
Well, now you have something new to think about. Carry on.
It's what you said there is exactly that one word is what's missing in my opinion. This is my opinion. Love. I think that's what's missing in Star Trek now. It just seems like a hollow shell with a wind-up key on the back. You know, we can just keep an outlook and hope things change for the next generations. You know, I'm old, so I know I'm not around, and I know I have the classics to enjoy. I look at the original series cast. The way I look at it is like a family to me. They're a family. I was a kid. I used to go hang out at their house every night at 6 o'clock, and they all treated me like one of them. But sadly to say, they've all passed away. Their house is still there. I can walk by and see the house, and there it is. But I know there's different people living inside, and I can understand that. So
Right.
I hope eventually Star Trek will be in the hands of somebody who cares about it, who does have hope for the future, who does want to write straight to the hearts and the minds of the fans out there, and not to the bottom dollar, pretty much.
Emma.